We built this on a strong foundation. This is a new chapter.
Hi, my name is Mukesh Ramsing. Welcome to the constituency of Claxton Bay, formerly known as Pointe-a-Pierre. I am your candidate for the PNM for Claxton Bay constituency. And I'm proud to be standing in the heart of Claxton Bay right now in this fishing depot, where constituents and families gather here to get their fresh fish daily. Claxton Bay is also known for its wide sporting development, as we are home to the Maniranjam Stadium, where families can go and exercise and also take a look at all the national events that takes place there. Claxton Bay is also known for its diverse business entities, from small to medium, as we are just a stone's throw away from the Trinidad and Tobago Cement Limited.
I'm supporting Mukesh Ramsing because he sees us, the youth, not just as the future, but in all aspects of our present. He advocates for our community and he believes that the people are the purpose. I'm all in.
Mukesh is a community man, a man of the people, a man who is willing to serve you, us, in Claxton Bay. Without a doubt, I believe if given the opportunity, Mukesh will be an excellent parliamentary representative for us, the people of Claxton Bay.
Who is Mukesh Ramsing? Mukesh Ramsing is a family man. I've been a family man for most of my adult life. I am a sportsman. I've been in sports since a very tender young age, representing both my secondary school and primary schools in cricket, football, and basketball. I'm a businessman, and through my business dealings, I've become the president of the Couva Point Lisa's Chamber of Commerce, most recently for the last 3.5 years, serving the business community. And I look forward to taking all my experiences to come and serve you, the people of Claxton Bay constituency, so we can make this constituency a bigger and brighter Claxton.
New chapter for TNT. We're red, ready and responsible. Vote PNM. Great is the PNM.
Do you remember the last UNC-led coalition? The UNC PRO Kirk Megu said that coalitions in Trinidad and Tobago have a tendency to implode under the weight of their internal contradictions. The leader of NJAC publicly denounced corruption in the government that he helped to form. The OWTU leader, Ansel Roger, publicly savaged the UNC and vowed to get her out of office. The MSJ severed ties with the People's Partnership. How can you trust Kamla and her cabal to manage a country when they cannot even manage their party? We know how this movie ends. Let's make the last time on April 28th. Reject the UNC.
Again.
Hey! Oh, na na na. Red and ready, here we all. Yeah! Red and ready, here we all. Calling all the red army. Red and ready, here we all. Yeah, yeah. We all. Oh, na na na. Red and ready, here we all. Calling all the red army. Red and ready, here we all. Trinidad and Tobago. Red and ready, here we all. Yeah, we all. Yeah, we red and ready now. Calling the red army. Calling out all our we friends and family with love for TNT. From the mountain top to the valley low, everywhere we go, country before party. PNM, we working together, we building together. Young will make it better. PNM, side by side together, we standing together for our nation's future. This is a movement we all in together, not just for one. My sister, my brother, money's in your hand. PNM is the plan, ready, ready, hold it steady. PNM's we all in. One man flowing through we vein. We all in. Red army on the road again. We all in. Every creed and every race. We all in. Together, no time to waste. We all in. From Frederick Street to we all. Trinidad and Tobago. Red and ready, yeah, we all. Yeah, we all. Yeah, we red and ready now. PNM, we working together. We building together. We gonna make things better. PNM, side by side together. We standing together for our nation's future. This is a movement we all in together. Not just for one, my sister, my brother. Policy in your hand. PNM is the plan. Ready, ready, hold it steady. PNM, we all in. One blood flowing through we vein. We all in. Red army on the road again. We all in. Every creed and every race. We all in. Together, no time to waste. We all in. From Frederick Street to Boko Reef. We all in. The policy is what we need. We all in. Tell them this and say it then. We all in. The PNM we need again. We all in. One blood flowing through we vein. We all in. Red army on the road again. We all in. Every creed and every race. We all in. Together, no time to waste. We all in. From Frederick Street to Boko Reef. We all in. The policy is what we need. We all in. Tell them this and say it then. We all in. The PNM we need again. We all in.
Can you really trust the UNC? The last time Kamla and the Cabal were in charge, they squandered $24 billion in cash and ran up a $9 billion overdraft at the Treasury. All this while energy revenues went from $17 billion to $1 billion. The last time they won, you lost the Treasury. We know how this movie ends. Let's make the last time the last time. On April 28th, reject the UNC.
Again.
Calling out all our way, friends and family with love for TNT. From the mountain top to the valley low, everywhere we go, country before party. We working together, we building together. Young will make it better. Side by side together, we standing for our nation's future. This is a movement we all in together. Not just so one, my sister, my brother. Policy in your hand. PNM is the plan. Ready, ready, hold it steady. We are one. We stand strong. We are one. We stand strong. Together, no time to waste.
New chapter for TNT. We're red, ready, and responsible. On April 28th, vote PNM. Great is the PNM.
Calling out all our way, friends and family with love for TNT. From the mountain top to the valley low, everywhere we go, country before party. We working, we building, young will make it better. Side by side, we standing for our nation's future. This is a movement we all in together. Not just so one, my sister, my brother. Policy in your hand. PNM is the plan. Ready, ready, hold it steady. We are one. One blood flowing through we vein. We stand strong. Red army on the road again. We are one. Every creed and every race. We stand strong. Together, no time to
New chapter for TNT. We're red, ready, and responsible. Vote PNM. Great is the PNM.
Calling out all our way, friends and family with love for TNT. From the mountain top to the valley low, everywhere we go, country before party. We working together, we building together. Young will make it better. Side by side together, we standing for our nation's future. This is a movement we all in together. Not just so one, my sister, my brother. Policy.
And share and be a part of this experience as we take Moruga Tableland forward. On April 28th, vote Lisa Atwater for Moruga Tableland.
Together we standing, no tribes intertwined. Working together, we all in the line. Let's do this together, your future and mine. Red and ready, hold it steady. We are one. One blood flowing through we vein.
Welcome to the constituency of Moruga Tableland. We may be rural in location, but we are big on heritage. We are big on diversity. We are big on harmony. We are big on respect for each other. We are diverse. We have diverse population, diverse religions, cultural backgrounds, and all of those qualities going to making us the unique melting pot that we are. I am proud to be a product of this rich cultural heritage that is Moruga Tableland. So I've walked the corridors of this institution all my life. I've been here for 30 plus years. I know the students, their parents, I know the priests, the fishermen, the agriculturists, I know their hopes, I know certainly aware of the challenges, and I just want to be part of the solution. The solution of being all in for Trinidad and Tobago and all in for Moruga Tableland constituency, youth development and training, entrepreneurship, and a host of other services that will help improve our quality of life.
My name is Mrs. Antonia Nabi. I will be endorsing Lisa Atwater, the candidate from Moruga Tableland, as our candidate. The reason why is because Lisa Atwater is a daughter of the soil, born in Madingo Road, and she came to Moruga over 30 years now, serving at Moruga Composite as an educator. So I think that given this opportunity to serve Moruga Tableland, Lisa will be the best candidate. I endorse her for the Moruga Tableland because at Moruga Tableland constituency, it will be better with Atwater.
Working together, we all in the line. Let's do this together, your future and mine. Red and ready, hold it steady. We are one blood flowing through we vein. We stand strong and we on the road.
So folks, where do we go from here? What do we want for our future? I am not merely asking for your vote. I am asking you to believe. Believe in a better tomorrow. Let's go all in. All in for Moruga Tableland. All in for Trinidad and Tobago.
New chapter for TNT. We're red, ready, and responsible. Vote PNM. Great is the PNM.
Calling out all our way, friends and family with love for TNT. From the mountain top to the valley low, everywhere we go, country before party. We working, we building, young will make it better. Side by side, we standing for our nation's future. This is a movement we all in together, not just so one. My sister, my brother, Balize in your hand. PNM is the plan. Red and ready, hold it steady. We are one blood flowing through we vein. We stand strong and we on the road again. We are one, every creed and every race. We stand strong together, no time to quit.
New chapter for TNT. We're red, ready, and responsible. Vote PNM. Great is the PNM.
Calling out all our way, friends and family with love for TNT. From the mountain top to the valley low, everywhere we go, country before party. We working, we building, young will make it better.
My name is Michael Rahman, and in this constituency is my good friend and relative, Dr. Yunus Ibrahim, contesting this seat on behalf of the People's National Movement. I recommend Yunus based on the fact that personally I know him to be honest, upright, and sincere, and he comes from a similar family of professionals, some of whom are doctors, properly discharging their duties to the community and to their own professions, and also on from the religious point of view, they have been devout and sincere Muslims serving in the cause of God, Allah. Thank you very much. I wish Dr. Yunus Ibrahim all the best.
Hello everyone, I am your representative, Dr. Muhammad Yunus Ibrahim, for the National General Election Campaign, GE 2025, for the People's National Movement. Behind me, I have one of the most iconic structures of Barataria San Juan, in the heartland of the Kweze, between what we call 5th Street Railway Road, the Priority Bus Route, Eastern Main Road, traversing into the very busy and bustling Quasi. This area here serves over 250,000 people on a daily basis of Trinidad and Tobago in tours and fros. The people here, lovely people. The environment, safe. The Trinidad and Tobago culture is personified by the people of Barataria San Juan, where no matter your creed and race, culture or color, we are one love, everybody lives together, and like I say, Barataria San Juan is the place to be.
Let's do this together, your future and mine. Red and ready, hold it steady. We are one blood flowing through within. We stand strong and we on the road again.
Blessed good day to everybody who could hear me. I've known Mr. Abraham, Dr. Abraham I should say, for quite a while. Since being the manager and owner at Ramesh Landila. I find for a man of his stature, he was very humble, knowing that as a man on the ground that, well, I will come as a commoner. He never showed no bad face, but always showed love ever since I've been in his presence. And it's something I did appreciate from a man of his status. What I would say is that I recommend him.
Based on Yunus, Dr. Abraham leadership qualities, you would get my support. He's a good leader, and the years I have worked with him, he has shown that leadership qualities.
By my grandfather Muhammad, street here has resulted in a growth pool of businessmen, traders, and also professionals plying the route of El Socorro North. I will tell you this much. This is the reason why my navel string is tied to Barataria San Juan. Since I came out of university, I can tell you this, I have worked nowhere else, I have gone nowhere else. And like my family from Mohammedville says, and I close with this, at the end of Mastana Bahar, Adabars, Koda Hafiz.
New chapter for TNT. We're red, ready, and responsible. Vote PNM. Great is the PNM.
Calling out all our way, friends and family with love for TNT. From the mountain top to the valley low, everywhere we go, country before party. We working, we building, young will make it better. Side by side, we standing for our nation's future. This is a movement we all in together, not just so one. My sister, my brother, Balize in your hand. PNM is the plan. Red and ready, hold it steady. We are one blood flowing through within. We stand strong and we on the road again. We are one, every creed and every race. We stand strong together, no time to waste. We want you from Frederick Street to Boko Reef. We are one, the Balize is what we need. We want you, tell them this and say it then. We want you, the PNM we need again. We want you, sun or rain, together we remain together. We gonna make things better. Young and old, standing tall. This is a new chapter. Together we standing, all tribes intertwined. Working together, we all in the line. Let's do this together, your future and mine. Red and ready, hold it steady. We are one blood flowing through within. We stand strong and we on the road again. We are one, every creed and every race. We stand strong together, no time to waste. We want you from Frederick Street to Boko Reef. We are one, the Balize is what we need. We want you, tell them this and say it then. We want you, the PNM we need again. We want you.
New chapter for TNT. We're red, ready, and responsible. Vote PNM. Great is the PNM.
Calling out all our way, friends and family with love for TNT. From the mountain top to the valley low, everywhere we go, country before party. We working, we building, young will make it better. Side by side, we standing for our nation's future. This is a movement we all just so one. My sister, my brother, Bali's it in your hand. PNM is the plan. Red and ready, hold it steady. We are one. One blood flowing through we vein. We stand strong and we on the road again. We are one. Every creed and every race. We stand strong together, no time to
New chapter for TNT. We're red, ready, and responsible. Vote PNM. Great is the PNM. New chapter for TNT. We're red, ready, and responsible. Vote PNM. Great is the PNM.
Bali's it in your hand. PNM is the plan. Red and ready, hold it steady. We are one. One blood flowing through we vein. We stand strong and we on the road again. We are one. Every creed and every race. We stand strong together, no time to waste. We want your...
Can you really trust the UNC? The last time Kamla and the cabal were in charge, they destroyed your energy sector. They failed to renew critical gas contracts and lied about production levels. They made bad deals and sold out TNT. The last time the UNC won, you lost billions of US dollars. If the UNC wins, you lose billions. We know how this movie ends. Make the last time on April 28th. Reject the UNC.
Again.
Ready, ready, show me who ready, ready, show me who ready, ready. This is the time. This is the place, the future is here, no time to waste. We build on the strength of those who trod this road before. Coming again, coming again. Cause I feel the light, shining so bright in me heart and we soul. Red, black and white, together we strong, come sun, come rain. Cause it's blood in we veins, we all are the same. You don't know we red already, things are set already. Tell them we all in, we all in, we all in. Don't know we red already. The thing that's set already. Tell them we all in, we all in, we all in. Oh, tell them we all in. Oh, just tell them we all in. Oh, tell them we all in. Tell them we all in. Tell them we all in. We under the same sky, feeling the same things. The movement is forward. We all want the same thing. Together we aspire, so we must achieve. Call the red army, the whole of TNT. So show them we red already, the thing done set already. Tell them we all in, we all in, we all in. Don't know we red already, the thing done set already. Tell them we all in, we all in, we all in. Oh, tell them we all in. Oh, just tell them we all in. Oh, tell them we all in. Tell them we all in. Fire in the soul, a nation so strong. Through the heart of a people, the victory is won. We fight for tomorrow, we fight for today. Stand strong together, blow the evil away. If we are one, the victory is sure. Divide and rule, we don't want that no more. Clean heart, clean hands, it's love to the core. And if love is the word, how about that we show? You don't know. So tell them you're red already, things are set already. Tell them we all in, we all in, we all in. Don't know we red already, the thing that's set already. Tell them we all in, we all in, we all in. Oh, tell them we all in. Oh, just tell them we all in. Oh, tell them we all in. Tell them we all in. Tell them we all in. Tell them we red and ready, thing done set already. Tell them we all in, we all in, we all in. No.
Be all in for TNT on April 28th. Vote PNM. Great is the PNM. New chapter for TNT. We're red, ready, and responsible. Vote PNM. Great is the PNM.
Bali's it in your hand. PNM is the plan. Red and ready, hold it steady. We are one. One blood flowing through we vein. We stand strong and we on the road again. We are one. Every creed and every race. We stand strong together, no time to waste. We want your...
New chapter for TNT. We're red, ready, and responsible. Vote PNM. Great is the PNM.
Bali's it in your hand. PNM is the plan. Red
new chapter for TNT. We're red, ready, and responsible. Vote PNM. Great is the PNM.
Ball is it in your hand. PNM is the plan. Red and ready, hold it steady. We are one. One blood flowing through we vein. We stand strong and we on the road again. We are one. Every creed and every race. We stand strong and no time to waste. We want your.
Yeah, it's good to reminisce. You know, it's amazing to be at honeymoon grounds in El Dorado in Tunapuna, a place where I've lived, been all my life. Actually, I went to school right at Hillview College right there. So this was really an exercise sporting mecca. You know, I will come here sometimes on mornings, sometimes on evenings, do a couple laps, do some exercise, you know what I mean, mingle with some of the people that are here because again, it's, as you can see, it's very scenic. Tunapuna is really a nice place. You know, I've lived here all my life. 5 years as a councillor, 10 years as a member of parliament, and I have served. I'm looking forward to a third term, just to serve the people, do what I can do best.
He helps people who in need. He don't give them a run around when you want help. He help you. He just help you. He just take you serious.
Tunapuna looking good. Esmond at Tunapuna looking good. Not now, right? Not now we at Tunapuna looking good. It's years now Edmond trying to fix road. All these roads and them, watch we roads in Tunapuna, they're good. I could say with Mr. Esmond, he is trying. He's really trying. And people should give him a chance because he's trying.
As a member of parliament, most times you are judged on what you have delivered. In Tunapuna, we have delivered. We can talk about infrastructural development. We needed some roads to be paved. Yes, they were done. We could identify Mingo Road. We could identify Tunapuna Road. We could identify Baltazar Street. We could identify the Maracas area. We could identify with the Akono, the St. Michael village, a very small village in Tunapuna, Upper St. John Road, and all they needed was some drainage and again, their road to be paved and to be given the necessary infrastructure. That was done. So again, I know St. Michael village is pretty much pleased. And then we could talk about the social aspects. How many persons receive self-help grants? How many persons receive wheelchairs? How many persons receive a simple thing as a walking stick? And again, assisting individuals to qualify for their pensions, for their disability grants, and the various grants that are offered by the Social Development Authority. In terms of community development, we can talk about the El Dorado Community Center, which is right there, which would have opened during my tenure as a member of parliament within the last 10 years. And of course, in 2025, Exodus are the champions. Tunapuna and Esmond Ford is all in for TNT. Because to build a better Tunapuna, we must go all in.
New chapter for TNT. We're red, ready, and responsible. Vote PNM. Great is the PNM.
Welcome to Tobago East, the cultural capital of Trinidad and Tobago. Don't let anybody fool you. Tobago East is where culture is. If you want beautiful beaches, beautiful scenery, if you want a good reel and jig, you had to come to Tobago East. That is where I live. This is where I serve. I'm inviting you on this journey with me.
We delivered. Team PNM delivered. We delivered to the people of Tobago and the people of Trinidad and Tobago. We delivered projects. We invested in our children, in our infrastructure, in healthcare, in education, and social support. And we never abandoned the vulnerable.
So I'm here standing up at the Cocoa Peace water supply where over the years this would have been supplying the residents of Upper Bailey. Behind me what you're seeing is some additional tanks, about 6,000 gallon tanks that she would have provided about a year or two ago to improve the water supply for the people up here. And for that we are grateful, we are eternally thankful for her intervention. And we hope that as residents that we could continue to work with her in the future.
responding to the needs of constituents. So for example, in Charlottesville, Bel Air in particular, working with the residents there, collaborating with them to ensure that we got some water in the area, and the construction of the tank farm, ensuring that they got the required sizes to expand the water storage capacity for the community, as well as the refurbishment and reconstruction of the Roxborough Fire Station. If you talk about Mariah, where the residents would have advocated long and hard for a new health centre, and one was constructed there for them. So there have been many deliverables throughout the constituency, and the work continues. My representation might not have been loud, but it has been deliberate. It has been purpose-driven, and it has, at the heart of it, I've always aimed to serve my constituents with integrity and to deliver to them with pride, because I understand what it is to be Tobago East and what it is to be a Tobago East that is developing. But most importantly, I understand what it is to be a Tobago East that deserves quality representation. And that is what I would have delivered over the years.
New chapter for TNT. We're red, ready, and responsible. Vote PNM. Great is the PNM.
The constituency of Toko Sani Grande is widely known as a rural constituency. It is a beautiful constituency. It's known for the warmth and love of our people. It's known for our beaches, our rivers, our trails, our fauna and flora. But most importantly, we are also known as a very resilient group of people who are located in these northeastern communities.
Roger Monroe is a worker. Roger Monroe comes from the belly of the grassroots. That's why I support him.
I remember my child growing up, and I think he done a very good job. And also he see about his community. He's a man that people call anytime he wants until his phone. And also he's a man that will always share something with somebody.
Roger Monroe has demonstrated over the last 4 years and a half, and even for a community member, that discipline and commitment, that ability to listen to people and maturity to deal with the situation. And that's why I support Roger Monroe, because he demonstrates what we at PNM have, discipline, maturity, and getting the job done.
My vision for Toko Sani Grande is hinged on the past representation that I would have been able to give to the constituency from 2020 to present. It is my dream to bring this constituency of Toko Sani Grande to the level of the urban communities, but not removing the rural aspect of the love, the warmth, the appreciation and togetherness of the people. Meaning that I intend to work tirelessly to be a constituency on par with urban communities, having all the amenities and having all that is necessary. Some of the projects that has already been started and ongoing, the Ojo Road Recreation Ground upgrade, the Sani Grande indoor facility, the Sangre Grande swimming pool in Supram Village. Also ongoing is the development and full construction of the Shark River Bridge in Matlock, the Long Bridge in Grand River. We have many retaining walls in the Montevideo and various communities along the North Coast and in Matlock, ongoing roadworks and development as well. The works that is intended to be completed soon of the new Churchill Roosevelt Highway extension into Sangre Grande. Toko Sani Grande has seen a large increase in housing development, and it has also encouraged persons from outside to come into our constituency. We have ongoing works to the Toko Lighthouse, and we intend to see much more development in the local tourism aspect. One of the mega projects that would have been completed 2020 to present is our brand new Sangre Grande Hospital Campus, 106-bed, state-of-the-art, fully equipped hospital for the people of Toko Sani Grande and environs. We have also seen the construction of over 200 plus starter homes, completely free for the beneficiary and vulnerable families, spanning from Valencia all the way heading into the North Coast, going up to Matlock. The fishing community on the coast could expect in upcoming projects The development and construction work being done to the Matlot fishing facility, to the Grand River fishing facility, to the Kumana fishing facility, the Toko fishing facility, Balancha and Salibi fishing facility, and bringing these fishing facilities to a standard that is acceptable to all. My people of Toko Sani Grande, let's go all in with Roger Monroe. Let's go all in with the People's National Movement. Let's go all in for Trinidad and Tobago. Let's go all in for a better Toko Sani Grande. Let's go all in for continued development of our many communities across the constituency of Toko Sani Grande.
New chapter for TNT. We're red, ready, and responsible. Vote PNM. Great is the PNM.
Money's it in your hand. PNM is the plan. Ready, hold it steady. We are one. One blood flowing through we vein. We stand strong. Enemy on the road again. We are one. Every creed and every race. We stand strong. Together, no time to waste. We want your. Hey, oh na na na. We built this on a strong foundation. This is a new chapter.
Hi, my name is Mukesh Ramsey. Welcome to the constituency of Claxton Bay, formerly known as Pointe-a-Pierre. I am your candidate for the PNM for Claxton Bay constituency, and I'm proud to be standing in the heart of Claxton Bay right now in this fishing depot, where constituents and families gather here to get their fresh fish daily. Claxton Bay is also known for its wide sporting development, as we are home to the Maniranjam Stadium, where families can go and exercise and also take a look at all the national events that takes place there. Claxton Bay is also known for its diverse business entities, from small to medium, as we are just a stone's throw away from the Trinidad and Tobago Cement Limited.
My sister, my brother, money's it in your hand. PNM is the plan. Ready, hold it steady. We are one blood flowing through we vein.
I'm supporting Mukesh Ramsing because he sees us, the youth, not just as the future, but in all aspects of our present. He advocates for our community, and he believes that the people are the purpose. I'm all in.
Mukesh is a community man, a man of the people, a man who is willing to serve you, us, in Claxton Bay. Without a doubt, I believe if given the opportunity, Mukesh will be an excellent parliamentary representative for us, the people of Claxton Bay.
Who is Mukesh Ramsing? Mukesh Ramsing is a family man. I've been a family man for most of my adult life. I am a sportsman. I've been in sports since a very tender young age, representing both my secondary school and primary schools in cricket, football, and basketball. I'm a businessman, and through my business dealings, I've become the president of the Couva Point Lisa's Chamber of Commerce, most recently for the last 3.5 years, serving the business community. And I look forward to taking all my experiences to come and serve you, the people of Claxton Bay constituency, so we can make this constituency a bigger and brighter Claxton.
New chapter for TNT. We're red, ready, and responsible. Vote PNM. Great is the PNM.
Do you remember the last UNC-led coalition? The UNC PRO Kirk Megu said that coalitions in Trinidad and Tobago have a tendency to implode under the weight of their internal contradictions. The leader of NJAC publicly denounced corruption in the government that he helped to form. The OWTU leader, Ansel Roger, publicly savaged the UNC and vowed to get her out of office. The MSJ severed ties with the People's Partnership. How can you trust Kamala and her cabal to manage a country when they cannot even manage their party? We know how this movie ends. Let's make the last time the last time. On April 28th, reject the UNC.
Again.
Hey! Oh, na na na. Red and ready, here we all. Yeah! Red and ready, here we all. Calling all the Red Army. Red and ready, here we all. Yeah, yeah. We all. Oh, na na na. Red and ready, here we all. Calling all the Red Army. Red and ready, here we all. Trinidad and Tobago. Red and ready, here we all. family with love for TNT. From the mountaintop to the valley low, everywhere we go, country before party. PNM, we working together, we building together, young will make it better. PNM, side by side together, we standing together for our nation's future. This is a movement we all in together, not just for one. My sister, my brother, all easy in your hand. PNM is the plan, ready, hold it steady. PNM, speed more than one blood flowing through we vein. Speed more than ready me on the road again. Speed more than every creed and every race. Speed more than together, no time to waste. Speed more than from Frederick Street to Boko Reef. Speed more than the policy is what we need. Speed more than tell them this and say it then. Speed more than the PNM we need again. Speed more than taking it to the streets wherever we meet. We talking to everyone all over the country. The message is loud and clear. We want you to volunteer, spreading the word. Country before party. PNM, sun or rain, together we remain together. We gonna make things better. PNM, young and old, together standing tall. Together, this is a new chapter. Together we standing, all tribes intertwined. Working together, we all in the line. Let's do this together, your future and mine. Ready, hold it steady. PNM, speed more than one blood flowing through we vein. Speed more than ready me on the road again. Speed more than every creed and every race. Speed more than together, no time to waste. Speed more than from Frederick Street to Boko Reef. Speed more than the policy is what we need. Speed more than tell them this and say it then. Speed more than the PNM we need again. Speed more than red and ready, yeah we all there. Red and ready, yeah we all. Trinidad and Tobago. Red and ready, yeah we all there. We all there. We red and ready now. PNM, we working together, we building together. We gonna make things better. PNM, side by side together, we standing together for our nation's future. This is a movement we all in together, not just for one. My sister, my brother, all easy in your hand. PNM is the plan, ready, hold it steady. PNM, speed more than one blood flowing through we vein. Speed more than ready me on the road again. Speed more than every creed and every race. Speed more than together, no time to waste. Speed more than from Frederick Street to Boko Reef. Speed more than the policy is what we need. Speed more than tell them this and say it then. Speed more than the PNM we need again. Speed more than one blood flowing through we vein. Speed more than ready me on the road again. Speed more than every creed and every race. Speed more than together, no time to waste. Speed more than from Frederick Street to Boko Reef. Speed more than the policy is what we need. Speed more than tell them this and say it then. Speed more than the PNM we need again. Speed more than.
Can you really trust the UNC? The last time Kamla and the cabal were in charge, they squandered $24 billion in cash and ran up a $9 billion overdraft at the Treasury. All this while energy revenues went from $17 billion to $1 billion. The last time they won, you lost the Treasury. We know how this movie ends. Let's make the last time the last time. On April 28th, reject the UNC.
Again. A new chapter for TNT. We're red, ready, and responsible. Vote PNM. Great is the PNM.
Man is it in your hand. PNM is the plan. Ready, hold it steady. PNM, we are one. One blood flowing through we vein. We stand strong. Enemy on the road again. We are one. Every creed and every race. We stand strong. Together, no time to waste. We want your PNM. Calling out all our we friends and family with love for TNT. From the mountaintop to the valley low, everywhere we go, country before party. We working, we building, young will make it better.
I'm Curtis Forrester, past student at Moruga Secondary School, and I proudly endorse Lisa Atwater to be the next Member of Parliament for Moruga Tableland. At my time at Moruga Secondary School, she has been a mentor, she has been a guiding role in the life of all young people, and I urge you young people of Moruga Tableland to join forward and share and be a part of this experience as we take Moruga Tableland forward. On April 28th, vote Lisa Atwater for Moruga Tableland.
Together we standing, all tribes intertwined. Working together, we all in the line. Let's do this together, your future and mine. Red and ready, hold it steady. We are one blood flowing through we vein. We stand strong and we on the road again.
Welcome to the constituency of Moruga Tableland. We may be rural in location, but we are big on heritage. We are big on diversity. We are big on harmony. We are big on respect for each other. We are diverse. We have diverse population, diverse religions, cultural backgrounds, and all of those qualities going to make us the unique melting pot that we are. I am proud to be a product of this rich cultural heritage that is Moruga Tableland. So I've walked the corridors of this institution all my life. I've been here for 30 plus years. I know the students, their parents, I know the priests, the fishermen, the agriculturists, I know their hopes, I know certainly aware of the challenges, and I just want to be part of the solution. The solution of being all in for Trinidad and Tobago and all in for Moruga Tableland constituency. Youth development and training, entrepreneurship, and a host of other services that will help improve our quality of life.
My name is Mrs. Antonia Nabi. I will be endorsing Lisa Atwater, the candidate from Moruga Tableland, as our candidate. The reason why is because Lisa Atwater is a daughter of the soil, born in Madingo Road, and she came to Moruga over 30 years now, serving at Moruga Composite as an educator. So I think that given this opportunity to serve Moruga Tableland, Lisa will be the best candidate. I endorse her for the Moruga Tableland because at Moruga Tableland constituency, it will be better with Atwater.
Working together, we all in the line. Let's do this together, your future and mine. Red and ready, hold it steady. We are one blood flowing through we vein. We stand strong and we on the road.
So folks, where do we go from here? What do we want for our future? I am not merely asking for your vote. I am asking you to believe. Believe in a better tomorrow. Let's go all in. All in for Moruga Tableland. All in for Trinidad and Tobago.
New chapter for TNT. We're red, ready, and responsible. Vote PNM. Great is the PNM.
Calling out all our we, friends and family with love for TNT. From the mountain top to the valley low, everywhere we go, country before party. We working, we building, young will make it better. Side by side, we standing for our nation's future. This is a movement we all in together, not just so one. My sister, my brother, Balize in your hand. PNM is the plan. Red and ready, hold it steady. We are one blood flowing through we vein. We stand strong and we on the road again. We are one, every creed and every race. We stand strong together, no time to quit.
New chapter for TNT. We're red, ready, and responsible. Vote PNM. Great is the PNM.
Can you really trust the UNC? The last time Kamla and the cabal were in charge, they squandered $24 billion in cash and ran up a $9 billion overdraft at the Treasury. All this while energy revenues went from $17 billion to to 1 billion. The last time they won, you lost the treasury. We know how this movie ends. Let's make the last time the last time. On April 28th, reject the UNC.
Again. A new chapter for TNT. We're red, ready, and responsible. Vote PNM. Great is the PNM.
Man is it in your hand. PNM is the plan. Ready, hold it steady. We are one blood flowing through we vein. We stand strong and army on the road again. We are one, every creed and every race. We stand strong together, no time to waste. We want
Ready, show me who ready, show me who ready. This is the time, this is the place. The future is here, no time to waste. We build on the strength of those who trod this road before. Coming again, coming. Cause I feel the light shining so bright in me heart and we soul. Red, black and white, together we strong. Come sun, come rain, cause it's blood in we veins. We all are the same. You don't know we red already. Think and set already. Tell them we all in, we all in, we all in. Don't know we red already. The thing and set already. Tell them we all in, we all in, we all in. Oh, tell them we all in. Oh, just tell them we all in. Oh, tell them we all in. Tell them we all in. Tell them we all in. We under the same sky, feeling the same things. The movement is forward. We all want the same thing. Together we aspire, so we must achieve. Call the red army, the whole of TNT. So show them we red already. The thing done set already. Tell them we all in, we all in, we all in. Don't know we red already. The thing done set already. Tell them we all in, we all in, we all in. Oh, tell them we all in. Oh, just tell them we all in. Oh, tell them we all in. Tell them we all in. Fire in the soul, a nation so strong. Through the heart of a people, the victory is won. We fight for tomorrow, we fight for today. Stand strong together, blow the evil away. If we are one, the victory is sure. Divide and rule, we don't want that no more. Clean heart, clean hands, His love to the core. And if love is the word, how about that we show? Yet I know. So tell them you're ready already. The thing is set already. Tell them we all in, we all in, we all in. Don't know we ready already. The thing is set already. Tell them we all in, we all in, we all in. Oh, tell them we all in. Oh, just tell them we all in. Oh, tell them we all in. Tell them we all in. Tell them we all in. Tell them we ready and ready. Thing done set already. Tell them we all in, we all in, we all in. No.
Be all in for TNT on April 28th. Vote PNM. Great is the PNM. A new chapter for TNT. We're red, ready, and responsible. Vote PNM. Great is the PNM.
Valley know everywhere we go, country before party. We working together, we building together. Young will make it better. Side by side, we standing for our nation's future. This is a movement we all in together, not just so one. My sister, my brother, Valley's it in your hand. PNM is the plan. Ready, hold it steady. We are one blood flowing through we vein. We stand strong and army on the road again. We are one, every creed and every race. We stand strong and no time to waste.
New chapter for TNT. We're red, ready, and responsible. Vote PNM. Great is the PNM.
Valley's it in your hand. PNM is the plan. Ready, hold it steady. We are one blood flowing through we vein. We stand strong and army on the road again. We are one, every creed and every race. We stand strong and no time to waste. We want
A new chapter for TNT. We're red, ready, and responsible. Vote PNM. great is the PNM.
This is the voice of the People's National Movement. We're ready, and we're responsible. This is a new chapter. Good evening, Diego Martin. I say good evening, Diego Martin. Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago. Dr. the Honorable Keith Christopher Rowley, the great political leader of the People's National Movement. MP for Diego Martin Northeast, the Honorable Com Imbert, former Minister of Finance and now the Minister of Public Utilities. The Honorable Simon de Nobrega, our trusted representative for Diego Martin Central and Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister Communications. And soon to be the Honorable Hans de Veens, the next MP for Diego Martin West, and another author added to the bold new chapter we are writing together. Deputy Mayor Felicia Sukda, Honorable Minister Kazim Hossain, members of the Diego Martin Borough Council, all three chairmen of the constituencies, all present here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight I stand before you as your mayor. Still more than that, I stand before you as a daughter of the soil, a girl from Scorpion Alley, Carenage, a proud citizen of the People's National Movement, and a believer in the red story that began long before me and will continue long after me. Join me, yes, join me as we turn the page and write a new chapter in the great book of Trinidad and Tobago. From Eric Williams to Stuart Young, from vision to victory, from free education for all, rich or poor, rural or urban, to gas deals that will change the energy future of this country. This is not just a story. This is a legacy in motion. A story of independence, a story of growth, a story of development, a story of resilience, and now a story that will be read, yes, read for years to come. Because let me tell you something, we cannot change history. And I want you all to say that with me. We cannot change history. And when some try to rewrite it, when some try to sanitize their role in the chaos they caused, we call them what they are, yellow bellies. Because when the responsible story is told, they can't speak plainly. They have to talk in code. But tonight, right here in Diego Martin, we're telling Trinidad and Tobago as it is. The new chapter says that under the leadership of the new Prime Minister, the Honorable Stuart Young SC, and former Prime Minister Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, a man of foresight and courage, we didn't put all our eggs in one basket. When the world was upside down and gas prices were falling, the PNM, our PNM, secured new gas deals that will fuel our economy for years to come. But while we invested in gas, we investing in tourism, we investing in agriculture, we investing in manufacturing, and we keeping the country machinery running. The new chapter says that when the yellow bellies raided the treasury, it was Com Imbert who picked up the pieces with just 3 days of money left in their account. He pulled off a miracle to pay salaries, stabilize the economy, and protect the people. Listener, in 2015, this government had it to do, this PNM government had to do like Christ and feed the nation with 2 loaves of bread and 5 fish. The new chapter says that when the world was on its knees during COVID crisis, it was Dr. Rowley who led us through with strength, science, and sanity, while the code told you to drink bleach and stand in the sun. I tell you, we could have been lost, but thank God for strong leadership. The new chapter says that it was under the PNM that young people like me and thousands of others could go to school through gate, walk across a graduation stage, and now hold degrees, masters, and PhDs. That is real empowerment, not empty talk. The new chapter will show you the Honorable Shamfa Kojo building community centers across the nation where thousands now go to access development programs and learn skills and lift themselves up. The new chapter has shown you the Honorable Foster Cummins building a new generation of young farmers and business owners. Real jobs, real ownership, real opportunities. And let me tell you this, the PNM is not just a party. The PNM is a book. A living, breathing, powerful book being written by the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Every page, every chapter is soaked in vision, hope, and national pride. And here's what, we don't want you to tune in. We want you to be all in and to actively participate in writing this profound and empowering chapter with us as a mixture of innovators and traditionalists working together to take this country forward. There were times, yes, when others tried to take the pen. And what did they write? Confusion, broken promises, unfulfilled dreams, corruption, and code. That's their language. To confuse, to obstruct, to delay, to evade. But tonight, I say we turned the page. We are ready. We are ready and we are responsible. We are the authors. The pen is in our hands and the ink is red, bold, fearless, and full of purpose. Let's not reread their tired plot lines. Let's not fall for the same cover with no story. Inside is blank because they can't deliver what they're promising. Mad people, I tell you. Instead, Diego Martin, Trinidad and Tobago, let's write the new chapter together. A chapter of progress, a chapter of power, a chapter of pride, a chapter where Hans Devines becomes the next MP for Diego Martin West, a chapter where Simon de Nabraga continues his service in Diego Martin Central, a chapter where Com Imbert carries on his legacy in Diego Martin Northeast, a chapter where our borough becomes the best in the nation, not whining and stagnated like those of the code, but doing things like winning an IDB award for innovation and service excellence in the first year of becoming a borough. That is Diego Martin. A chapter where you and I look back and say, we built this, we lived this, we led this. The future is red. The future is ready. The future is responsible. Let us not forget people. Great is the people of Diego Martin. Great is the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Great is the People's National Movement. Let's turn the page. Let's write the chapters. Let's make history. And on April the 28th, we will beat them in Diego Martin Central. We will beat them in Diego Martin Northeast. We will beat them in Diego Martin West. We will beat them throughout Trinidad and Tobago, people. And on that victorious night, we will all shout, great is the PNM, great is the PNM, great is the PNM, and we have prevailed. Thank you.
Diego Martin, that's his mayor. That is definitely mayor. Thank you, your worship, for reminding us that we cannot change what? We cannot change. And the PNM has a history of great responsible leadership. As we head toward April 28th, are we going to be yellow-bellied? Are we going to be yellow-bellied? Or will we be the authors for continued strong PNM leadership? Definitely. Now with the energy high, let's move on to our next speaker. I'm sure you will love this. A son of Diego Martin, who is ready to take on the mantle of leadership. He is a well-respected media personality, entrepreneur, and advocate for national development, known for his ability to engage communities and inspire action. With a distinguished career as a radio and television host and as managing director of Hand to Hand Productions, he has used the media and culture to connect people and spotlight important issues across Trinidad and Tobago. He is ACCA qualified and holds an MBA in Leadership, Entrepreneurship and Innovation from Anglia Ruskin University. He currently serves as a director at the National ICT Company and on the IDB's Next Gen board, contributing to national innovation and youth development. He brings a leadership style rooted in communication, active listening, and results. As the proud son of Diego Martin West, he understands the constituency's needs and is ready to deliver accessible, innovative, and inclusive representation. With Hans de Veens and Diego Martin West, we are truly in good hands. Ladies and gentlemen, Hans de Veens is ready, and responsible to continue the outstanding tradition of serving the constituents of Diego Martin West. Let's welcome him this evening as he shares his passion, purpose, and vision. Please welcome Hans de Veens.
Greatest the what? Greatest PNM. Raise it. 10 hands for Hans. Who we voting? Hans from Diego Martin West. PNM the money. Best, yes, no other choice yet. Hans, pull me. I want to talk to you a little bit, right? I want you to sing this song with me. I want you all to sing it with me. I want Diego Martin Central to make some noise. Diego Martin Central in the house. Make some noise for Simon. Make some noise. Greatest the who? Make some noise for Diego Martin Northeast. Anybody in the house? Make some noise. And we go keep the noise for the last one. But I want all of you to sing this song with me. Just 3 questions I have to ask all you. Who we voting? Hans. Wait, DJ, wait. Who we voting? Hans from Diego Martin West. PNM Demadi. There's no other choice here. Play DJ, let me go. Oh, let's sing it with me. Polling station and vote for Hans. PNM. Greatest the who? So sing with me, sing it. Who we voting? From Diego Martin. PNM the money. There's no other choice here. PNM the money. From Diego Martin. PNM the money. Low PNM Ian probable. At PNM, anything possible. He not incredible, not shakeable. When it comes to the people business, yeah, he always on top of things. Inside the community, every and all the happenings. Raise them up, so tell me now. Who you put in your future hand? 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 Who you put in your future hand?
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming. Please drive carefully and ride home safely.
The man that laid the foundation, Dr. the Honorable Keith Christopher Rowley, political leader of the People's National Movement. The Honorable Cormember, our Minister of Public Utilities, and our choice in Diego Martin Northeast. The Honorable Simon de Nobrega, representative for Diego Martin Central. Akila Glasgow-Warner, Mayor of the Borough of Diego Martin. And other members of the Diego Martin Borough Corporation, constituency chairman, ladies and gentlemen, my brothers and sisters of the PNM, good evening! To the future generation with us, what vibes? And to my people that have raised me, that have prayed with me, that have taught me how to swim and be the man I am today. My people of Diego Martin, make some noise! I am Hans Devines, your red, ready, and responsible candidate for Diego Martin West. This evening, I feel a bit of nostalgia. Some ways I feel to cry because we are here today in Diego Martin Central Secondary School. This is the school I attended. This is where my career and my education took flight. I feel full circle as we enter what seems to be my future here in a place that is near and dear to me and a pivotal part of my past. Many of you have asked, Hans, why politics? Why the PNM? And tonight I will answer that question because this decision is a conscious one. Let me start by saying, in that classroom over there, I wrote my CSEC examinations for free because of the People's National Movement. Just last week, one of our neighbors in the Caribbean just implemented that for their citizens, something that has been going on for decades in Trinidad and Tobago because of the People's National Movement. Let me tell you about the PNM a little bit. It is because of PNM policy that a young woman from Scorpion who used to walk on a dirt road that is now paved can work hard, educate herself, and become the mayor of the borough of Diego Martin. It is because of PNM governance that a young man born on Henry Street, Port of Spain, can represent our interests in a global stage and now stand as the Prime Minister of the great nation, Stuart Young, SC. It is because of PNM leadership that a young man who walked barefoot to school in Mason Hall could walk proudly into Whitehall as Prime Minister in 2015. That is the journey of Dr. Keith Rowley. And it is because of PNM policy, PNM governance, and PNM leadership that a young man that went to Diego Martin Central Secondary School on April 28th will be your Member of Parliament for Diego Martin West. It's not a joke when it comes to leadership. Let's take, for example, the program GATE. Akila mentioned it in her speech. Now, in retrospect, I don't think we thoroughly understood the intention of this program. GATE wasn't simply implemented to educate our nation's children. It was to develop a cadre of informed, knowledgeable, and empowered citizens who could actively participate in their own development and the development of Trinidad and Tobago, be it in the public service, healthcare, infrastructure, protective services, create SMEs, and build the private sector, grow and compete in the global marketplace. The foundation of our education came from PNM policy. Today, that PNM policy has gone a step further in education, and very soon will launch e-textbooks for our nation's students. This platform has already been procured. This will result in lower costs for school books, enhanced learning opportunities, skills development for the next generation. You ask why PNM? That is why PNM. Because we have a plan for the future. PNM, think about the name, People's National Movement. We are the only party that puts people at the front of everything we do. It is about the people of Trinidad and Tobago. That is why just across the street, you see the representation of the Diego Martin Health Center. You see the representation of the Diego Martin Community Pool. Go down Carnage, you will see the police station. You would see the health center. You would see all of the things built as plans from the People's National Movement. Listen, in Trinidad and Tobago, from community health care, accident and emergency, neonatal, palliative, elective surgeries, and cancer treatments are all free. Do not take it for granted, Trinidad and Tobago. In the last 7 years, the PNM government successfully delivered not 1, not 2, not 3, but 5 new hospitals in Trinidad and Tobago. Now, mind you, this was done during a pandemic where our healthcare system, led by the Honorable Terence Deyalsingh, stood proudly to the test. That is performance. That is the PNM. Now, I ask you, dial back a little bit. Think about where your thoughts were 5 years ago. Which party did you want to manage your affairs when the world was in crisis? Which party did you want to look after your family, your life, and your livelihood? You all know it is the People's National Movement, and they know it too. Sticking with healthcare, this PNM government has now invested in the health information system. What does that mean? That means that medical records of any citizen can be accessed by authorized medical personnel at any medical facility across Trinidad and Tobago, cutting down wait time. No more, we looking for your file. That is PNM. Let's take it further. Can any of you all recall someone you knew who was diagnosed with cancer around 10, maybe 15 years ago? What was their experience like? Let me tell you. Problems with diagnosis, problems with health care and aftercare, problems with getting their prescriptions filled. And even if you had access to the drugs, they were expensive. Families had to choose between spending on their loved ones or retaining funds to sustain themselves. Well, when this government came into office in 2015, all of that changed. Today, if your husband, wife, mother, father, children, or family members are diagnosed with cancer, you can count on the People's National Movement to be there with you for and from diagnosis to discharge. It is performance. It is only under the People's National Movement that someone in La Puerta battling cancer can get up in the morning, go straight to the St. James Cancer Treatment Center, get their prescription stamped, and with that stamp, walk into any government oncology center across Trinidad and Tobago, ladies and gentlemen, and collect their life-saving medication for free. Anybody here knows the average cost of that medication? It's not $3,000. It's not $5,000. It is $12,000 a month, and in some cases more. And under the People's National Movement, they are getting it for free. That is the PNM. That is the performance that we have as a party. Don't let them hurt up here and fool you, know. This party has put things in place to take care of you, the citizens. You ask why PNM? I say because PNM has a plan. In 2010, we did the unthinkable and changed course. And within 1 year, many who chose the other way knew that they went the wrong direction. When you consider all the things happening around us, the ANR International Airport opening up for more flights, bigger aircrafts, more tourists, more investments happening in Tobago and in Trinidad and Tobago as a whole. Recently, you saw Rohan Sinanan, our Minister of Works and Transport, sign an agreement with Nigeria to commence both passenger and cargo flights between Trinidad and Tobago and the African continent. Let me ask you all something. Well, you think those discussions started yesterday? No, we have been working as a movement for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Consider the hotels, the ones that are on their way, Sandals, Beaches, Marriott, actively engage in conversations about establishing operations right here in Trinidad and Tobago. What does that mean? Economic opportunity, potential for growth in the tourism sector and local economy, foreign investment, which has a knock-on effect on job creation, increased local spending, and overall economic development. In a time like this, we are opening new doors for trade, culture, industry, and tourism. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the PNM. Where we are headed is of benefit to all of us. You see, the PNM considers the sporting organizations like Merry Boys down the road, the cultural organizations like Merry Tones, the very schools like this one in our constituencies, and most importantly, the people and their needs. That is the PNM. So when they ask you, what has the PNM done for you? Answer by saying, when we talk in healthcare, who delivered? PNM delivered. When we talk in education, who delivered? PNM delivered. When we're talking about growing business, who delivered? When we're talking about training a new generation of farmers, who delivered? When we're talking about negotiating energy deals and ensuring the future of our country, who delivered? When we're talking red, ready, and responsible leadership, who we delivered? And PNM will continue. Listen, years of PNM policy, together with my purpose to serve the country, has led me to the decision that the best thing I can do for my country is serve. And my commitment to Diego Martin West is there. At the start of this campaign, I made a pledge to walk 1 million steps to meet you from community to community across Diego Martin West. I'm not doing this because I need the exercise, but I know the importance of meeting you. I have walked from Resurrection and Seaview across the Lance Mitar and the other side of the constituency. I have walked from Chaguanas, from Chagramas Point, Kumana Hills, Scorpion, and straight across the Big Yard without touching the main road. I have walked to the top of Green Hill 1 and 2, Factory Road, and Hillview Drive. I have walked the hills of La Puerta and Mercer Road. I have walked. For every new, decided, and undecided vote for you, I have walked. Now, hear why that is important as well. Many of them offering themselves to represent you, not coming up them hills. They're not coming. It is the PNM's way of doing things. I came to you humbly. I received your blessings, guidance, and support. And as of today, I have walked over 800,000 steps for you. Whether it be Lennox Ali, who is over 80 years old and from La Puerta, Tarisha Pear from Diamond Vale, who recently turned 18 and is a first-time voter, Spencer Labadie from Lance Mitar, you have all told me how the PNM have positively benefited everyone's life. So then you ask why? Why the PNM? I'll tell you why. When we say great is the PNM, it is not just a catchphrase to be bandied about. It is not just something your granny used to say. It is because of the foundation set by Dr. Eric Williams, George Chambers, Patrick Manning, Dr. Keith Rowley, and what is continuing to be built by the Honorable Stuart Young, SC. When we say great is the PNM, it is because of the continued improvement of national policy. When we say great is the PNM, it is because of the commitment to education, When we say great is the PNM, it is because what has been done for healthcare. When we say great is the PNM, it is because of the youth programs that continue to benefit the next generation of leaders. When we say great is the PNM, it is because we are a party that does not squander, pillage, or blunder. When we say great is the PNM, it is because we are ready, and responsible. So I tell you, my friends, my family, the people that have walked every step of my journey with me, on April 28th, when in Diego Martin Northeast, you vote for the Honorable Colin Burt, you will say, great is the PNM. When you vote for Simon de Nobrega in Diego Martin Central, you will say, great is the PNM. When you vote for Hans Evans in Diego Martin West, you will say, so when people come to you and ask you, why the PNM? We say with passion, pride, and purpose, great is the PNM, great is the PNM, great is the PNM, and we shall prevail.
Thank you so much, Hans, for that powerful contribution. Put your hands together one more time for your candidate for Diego Martin West. Hans, we know that taking up this mantle in Diego Martin West from our former Prime Minister is no easy task. But ladies and gentlemen, we know that Hans de Veens has shown us, he has walked as well. He has shown us that the future of Diego Martin West will be in capable hands. Do you agree? Also, thank you, Razor, for that outstanding introduction. Put your hands together for Razor as well, for his introduction to Hans. And according to him, Diego West, who you voting for? Let me hear it again. Who you voting for? Excellent. So on April 28th, Diego Martin West will choose its next member of parliament. And we will ensure that it is. We will ensure that it is. Excellent. Now, PNM family, our next speaker is another dynamic leader who has been working tirelessly for the people of Diego Martin Central. He is no stranger to you. A proud resident of Diego Martin and a Fatima alumnus, he answered a call to national service in 2015 and became the operations manager for the Diego Martin Central campaign team for the 2015 general elections. Always ready to serve and be of service to others, Simon de Nobrega was nominated for and won the district of Mount Coco Alice Glen at the local government elections held in November 2016. He was effective in delivering the services of local government to all residents of this area, working closely with the Member of Parliament at that time. He was then elevated to the position of chairman of the Diego Martin Regional Corporation in 2019, following his successful re-election, where he passionately led a team of councillors to ensure that Diego Martin was the best place to live. Simon de Nobrega was elected as the Member of Parliament for Diego Martin Central on August 10, 2020. Following this general election, he was appointed as minister in the Ministry of the Prime Minister with responsibility for communications. He is the proud father as well of 2 children. Simon was successful in his bid to repeat and was selected as an uncontested candidate for Diego Martin Central constituency for the People's National Movement in the April 28th general election. With the PNM's vision and Simon's dedication, Diego Martin Central will continue to have the strong voice it deserves in Parliament. He is ready, and responsible to keep serving you. Let's hear it for the man who is working for you and ready to do even more, the Honorable Simon de Nobrega.
Great is the PNM. Great is the PNM. Great is the PNM. And we shall prevail. Political leader of the People's National Movement, our former Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, the Mayor of the Diego Martin Borough, Alderman Akila Glasgow Warner, my fellow candidates for Diego Martin Northeast, Colm Imbert, and Diego Martin West, Hans Devines, my cabinet colleague, and my very first line minister when I was a councillor, Haji Kazim Hussein, Minister of Agriculture, Land and Fisheries, who was then the Minister of Rural Development and Local Government. Executives of all the constituencies here, members of all the constituencies here, PNM members, well-wishers, those joining us in the back, on the television, on the internet, on the radio, wherever you are, good evening. And welcome to Diego Martin Central. You know, the speaker before me is the candidate for Diego Martin West. But I know when I was walking through Diamondville, I had to pass by his family house where I know I'm getting all the votes. And he went to school in Diego Martin Central. So, Diego Martin West, we always talk about one Diego Martin, right? So you all have him, but we still claim a little piece of him. My friends, Trinidad and Tobago is at a critical juncture in its history. And a decision is going to be made in 12 days that will play a major role in how our nation progresses. And for all intents and purposes, you have two choices for all intents and purposes. But we know there is only one choice. Because what are your options really? Are you going to go with a party that has gotten you through the most difficult 10 years in the history of our nation? Are you going to go with a party that has provided you with a level of stability despite external shocks that had crippled the globe? Are you going to go with a party that even as that was happening, we were still dealing with the echoes of that worthless 2010 to 2015 government and the debt that they left this country in? Are you going to go with a party that, having done all of that, realizes that we are going to do something that has not been done since the days of Dr. Eric Williams, for a government to retain leadership of this country for 3 consecutive terms? Are you going to go with a party that as we do that, as we have done that, we are also seeing a population that wants to see evolution? And we have the type of leadership that says we will evolve while we're still here. We have a political leader who, as Prime Minister said, it is time to hand over the reins to the next generation. A generation that has been trained by him and by the senior members of our party. A generation who has had an amazing example to pattern themselves after. A generation who understands what hard work is because we see it and we see it being done. Or do you want to go with that other bunch of aspirants who only looking for the keys to the treasury? Do you want to go for a bunch of people who are only looking to enrich themselves at your expense and the nation's expense? Do you want to go with a party whose idea of change is picking up this one from a safe seat for them and resting him down in a next safe seat for them? Picking a next one up from Princestown and dropping him in Couva. taking one from a seat that people have voted for him and putting him in a seat because he wants to be there. No, sir. In Trinidad and Tobago, there is only one choice for leadership in this country, and it is the People's National Movement. I have been walking much like Hans. I haven't checked my steps. But much like Hans, I have been walking with my team the length and breadth of this constituency. And across this constituency of Diego Martin Central, the message has been resounding to us. We believe in the People's National Movement. We believe in the representation that they have put for us. We believe that there is no other option because that option is not an option. So we expect, and you are here by your hundreds and thousands here tonight. This is an indication of what we have seen on the ground. We expect that in Diego Martin Northeast, it will be a walk in the park. We expect that in Diego Martin West, they will know that they're in good hands. We expect that in Diego Martin Central, you know you're voting for your boy. But that is not just because we name PNM, because PNM members and the people who vote PNM different, you know. You have MPs and other constituencies that are under the control of the United National Congress that don't have a walk in the constituency. They walk, they go on nomination day, and the next day that you see them is when they in the campaign house counting votes. But we know that we have to come to you because the party's structure demands that. The party's structure demands that no matter how high your office in this party, you must return to the ground. We have to come to you. And we have to answer hard questions. I've had a few to answer. But that is what makes us so great. Because we are of the people. We live and breathe the people. We represent you, and we represent you with a level of respect and responsibility that has been the ethics, the ethos, the spine of this People's National Movement. So even as we change, even as we evolve, still in our party lies that tie to what makes us us. It is not just wholesale change to pretend you're making change. It is training the next generation and giving them the elders to sit with us and help us along the way. Having that institutional knowledge, not just in your seat, not just in the parliament, not just in the cabinet, but all of those things happening all of the time. So as we evolve the way we interact with you. We may evolve in the policies that we present to you because the world is changing. But what will not evolve is what makes the PNM the PNM. We have leadership that ensures that that will not happen. We have leadership not only at the central level, but at the constituency level that demands that of us. They have that? They have that? When somebody could come to you as a political leader of your party and tell you, I work in energy, and I have been in logistics, and I have a question about this for you tonight. And you, with your swaying self, have to sit down and tell that young lady, while we know
We have to get our young people more involved in the decision-making of this country, but we're going to talk about that in a little while. And tell that young lady, you really feel I have time to talk to you about that tonight? So when you're going to talk about it? When? We came to the nation today and said, this is our manifesto. This is the document that will become government policy when we are elected back into government. On the 29th of April, that becomes government policy. What that bunch of scamps have, they're taking out ads to talk about a manifesto. You know what that is. 50 points. 3/4 of them things the Ministry of Health already doing. Whether it is in your Diego Martin Central Health Center, whether it is in your refurbished Pitty Valley Health Center, one servicing about 18,000 people, this one with a captive population of about 51,000 people. All them things that they're talking about exist already. So don't fool me. Plenty, we ain't talking too long for that. And the others, the other 25%, let's say, simply are not possible. But you see, I started off by telling you all that we are at a critical juncture in our nation's history. Last time we were here, we were now writing the story of Trinidad and Tobago as an independent nation. And the biggest problem that you, the electorate, have is just the noise. The noise that floods social media. The noise that because it has become so rampant on social media, all of a sudden it is a topic of interest. So it makes it to traditional media. And that noise is not only getting to you, those of you who are here, but it is getting to our young people. Getting to those who may be voting for the first time in this election. Getting to those who may still be too young to vote, but they're already being entrenched in a system of lies and misinformation and misdirection, all aimed not only to get people to vote for them, you know, because they know that when they come in Diego Martin, they don't have a chance. So that's why the UNC hustle and give bump gum. Give him blah, blah, blah. Give him 2 seats and then pick up a man who licks 2 elections in a row from Marcia Marcelin in Pitty Valley, Cocorite, and say, you are our candidate. Candidate where? Win where? Licks. That is why the same bum gum all the time talking about coming Diego Martin Central. I'm going to deal with Simon all over Lover video. But when he realized he must be watch the results from 2020. 2020 he get about 400 votes in each of the Diego Martins. 400. Talking about how powerful that party is. He get less than 6,000 votes across the whole of this country. Ease me up now. We know your role, and you're doing your role, but you are not to be fooled by the role. You are not to be fooled because you know better. When we look at the young people who are getting picked up in that noise, think about it. In 2025, they might be 30 years old. How old were they in 2010, 15? In 2025, they might be 25 years old. How old were they in 2010? 10? Or if they're 20 years old, 5? They don't remember because that was not what them was studying then. They was fighting up with their books, tracking their first girlfriend, studying what they had to do for school, and you're in church, and you're doing all of the things and playing sports and doing all of the things that these children do. But what do you think was going to happen when you had a government that shut down youth programs across the board? What did you think was going to happen when you had a government that shut down youth camps? What do you think was going to happen when you had a government that poured money into programs like life sport, supporting and growing and empowering gangsterism? The echo of that is what we face today as a nation. Those young men and women are the products of that time, those 5 years. Coming back now for a PNM government to have to figure out ways to save them from themselves, save them and all of you from that bunch of worthless scamps. That is where we are. So in 2020, three political leaders, I think is when we had the symposium at the Hyatt, the Crime and Violence Symposium. 2023, all the leaders from around this region came, and everyone said, this is a problem that we are having, and we need to fix it. Our government, your government, said we are going to treat crime like a public health crisis, and we are going to have an all-of-government approach and an all-of-society approach. And we understand that the majority of the conversation that is had in the public space or in your private chat groups or in your home talks about everything that happens at the end of that journey, when you now have to have police, judge, lawyer, and jail. And we have to hold the people at the end of that journey accountable for their jobs. But what does a government who is visionary and caring and understands how you solve problems, what does that government do? You look at the start of the journey. And how do we get those young people either off the path that they are on or never to enter that path ever? And across the ministries that make up your government, programs were being rolled out one after the other. An entire ministry was developed just for young people, the Ministry of Youth Development and National Service. I think it's something about like 50 programs outside of the military-led programs that they have, all geared to say to you, the young person, all right, we will meet you where you are and as you are. You have one pass, we come for you. You have no passes, we'll come for you. You have whatever. The only thing that you must have is a desire to be an active participant in your own upliftment. And that is my message to young people. Be an active participant in your own upliftment. The government is here for you. We know that you are, when Dr. Rowley speaks about boundless faith in our destiny, it's you we're talking about. You are what gives us that boundless faith. You are the generation that in maybe 20 years, 30 years, will have to take care of me, take care of Colm, take care of Doc. You are who this country is depending on. So stop falling for the dotishness that is out there. Stop falling for the lies and the misdirection. Stop falling for the nonsense that is entertaining. And we know Trinis like Bacchanal. God, we love it. But there's a place for Bacchanal. And there's a place for sense. And there was a time when you know what rum talk was. There's a time when you knew what dotishness was. But now what they have is a platform that allows dotish one down there and his 3 other dotish partners to talk to the dotish ones up there. And the young and informed in particular see that because we like Bacchanal. So you package dotishness and you say the truth and you talk in a way that no respectful and responsible government could ever talk. We have to make sure that our young people are saved, and we have to make sure of that by our actions on the 28th of April. Because they should never see the corridors of power again. They should never smell that treasury again. They should never be able to come to you and say, I am your this or I am your that. Government, nothing. So, on the 28th of April, I know what everyone here will do. I know that in Diego Martin West, you will go out in your thousands and vote for Hans Devines. I know that in Diego Martin Northeast, you will go out in your thousands. Parliament might float and vote for Coleman Booth. And well, I know in Diego Martin Central, it's nobody else but Sayo. And on the evening of the 28th, in each constituency that makes up this region, that makes up this one Diego Martin, we all will say, great is the PNM, great is the PNM, great is the PNM, and we shall prevail. I thank you.
This city can't hold me. My vibe's too high. And my heart it told me jump right now, you will touch the sky. Feel my love unfolding like a laughing flame. All who did not know me when not done, they gon' know the name. Million people coming down.
Thank you so much, Minister Denobrego, for reminding us of the ethos of the PNM. We remain connected to the ground, connected to the people, and connected to not only what we as citizens want, but also what we need. So Diego Martin Central, where are you right now, Diego Martin Central? Just know, Simon Denobrego is what we need. Do you all agree? Now, ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker is a man whose name is synonymous with fiscal strength and development in Trinidad and Tobago. The candidate for Diego Martin Northeast is a financial strategist and PNM stalwart. He is the seasoned statesman with over 33 years of continuous service in Parliament and 22 years as a cabinet minister. He has been a driving force behind Trinidad and Tobago's economic policies, infrastructural development, and fiscal reforms. Since 2015, as Minister of Finance, he has been at the helm of Trinidad and Tobago's economic strategy, navigating the country through revenue challenges and economic diversification efforts. Under his leadership, he has implemented key fiscal policies, including GATE, CDAP, and the National Investment Fund, ensuring long-term financial stability for the nation. As deputy political leader of the People's National Movement, former chairman of the party, and author of 9 PNM general election manifestos, his commitment to the party and the people remains steadfast. his unwavering dedication to economic progress, infrastructure, modernization, and sound governance has cemented his legacy as a pillar of stability and leadership within Trinidad and Tobago. A PNM powerhouse, Come Imbert remains dedicated to delivering growth, prosperity, and leadership as the next MP for Diego Martin Northeast. He is the very personification of responsible leadership. When we say red, ready, and responsible, we are talking about leaders like Come Imbert. Diego Martin Northeast, you have been well served by this gentleman. And after April 28th, you will be well served again when we return him to Parliament. Let's give a big Diego Martin welcome to the one and only Honorable Come Imbert.
Good evening, everyone. I want to be able to say all protocols observed, but I won't. Our political leader, Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, give him a round of applause. My other two candidates, Hans De Veens in Diego Martin West, Simon de Nobrega in Diego Martin Central, our first female mayor of the borough of Diego Martin, my cabinet colleague, Kazim Hussain, and everybody else. I was looking at the little demonstration in front there. I was counting the number of them. And I said, you know, I have 5 opponents, believe it or not. All People Party, Patriotic Front, NTA, MND, and PEP. And I figure the bunch of people that are in front there is more votes and all of them will get put together. The last time that happened, I think, was with Dr. Rowley, I remember. Years ago, many years ago, he had 5 or 6 opponents as well. And I think when they add up all the votes they got, I don't think they reach 1,000. So that's the kind of target I go in at. The 5 of them, let me see if they can reach 1,000 in aggregate. Some of them might get 1 vote. It's a joke. But we need to demonstrate the power of Diego Martin. Since 1991, the 3 Diego Martin seats have been a powerhouse in the PNM. We have never lost. We have never lost. Where the PNM may have slipped and recovered in other areas in the east, in the south, and so on, we have never lost in the 3 Diego Martin seats. So don't mind, there's a set of jokers. I call the people coming against me a string band. I've been walking, I didn't do, how much steps you do, Hans? I feel you add a few steps there, but I walk it out, that's 400 miles. But anyway, I've been walking. I haven't seen my 5 opponents, I can't find them. They are nowhere to be found. So I decided to check the voters list. You know, 3 of them don't live in Diego Martin Northeast and not registered in Diego Martin Northeast, so they can't vote for themselves. So I have had a little challenge. I've had a challenge motivating my people because they say you win already. But we must not be like that. We in Diego Martin, we have to come out and maximize our vote. Show them who is boss in Diego Martin. It's not just it's going to be a clean sweep. That is a foregone conclusion. We're going to wipe the floor with them. They will all lose a deposit. All of them. But we must aim to maximize our votes. I expect at least 10,000 votes from each one of my candidates, and I'm aiming for that as well. That's how much I got in 2020. But tonight, I want to talk to you about some of the nonsense that is outside there in the public domain. The nonsense that you see in the newspapers. The nonsense that you read on, that you hear on the radio. Absolute nonsense. They have some people, I don't know if they call themselves analysts and expert, or the media decide they're analysts and expert. I don't know who come up with that. But people who know nothing about nothing, who have done nothing, who have never achieved anything, who stand for nothing. Every day you open up the papers and this analyst talking about that and this expert talking about that. Rubbish. Half of them are false papers. Half of them. Half of them buy the degree from some diploma mill. Half of them. Doctor this and doctor that. A joke, but it's deliberate. Because they know that these people, some of them are former UNC MPs. Some of them write UNC manifesto. Some of them working right now for the UNC. They know that these people are not neutral. They're not impartial. They are liars. And I want to talk to you about a lie that is going out there. Somebody is circulating some rubbish about how under the PNM, Trinidad and Tobago has been declared by the IMF to be the 7th worst performing economy in the world. Some UNC idiot said that on a platform. And he quotes some IMF publication. Do we go on for the publication? About 100 pages. We read every single page. We read every single line. We can't find it. It's not there. So the liar who said that, say he get it from a partner in the university. And he don't want to call his name. We're going to go victimize him. We know who the liar in the university is already, anyhow. All of them just lie. But the fact of the matter is, if you look at the same publication that they say that we are the worst performing economy, the 7th worst, you know what it say? Trinidad and Tobago, this is the 2024 IMF Article 4 concluding statement. Trinidad and Tobago is in the midst of a sustained economic recovery. That's what it says. That's what it says. With low inflation and good fiscal balance. There's nothing in there about the worst performing economy. We are worse than Haiti. We're worse than Sudan. We're worse than Ukraine. You see the foolishness people that talk? The nonsense that talk? In the Caribbean, half the Caribbean in IMF program. Half of them, not Trinidad and Tobago. And we have spent the last 9.5 years making sure that Trinidad and Tobago does not find itself in an IMF program. Because you know what will happen? You know what will happen? The first thing the IMF will say is devalue the currency. The first thing. In fact, the first meeting I had with the IMF in 2016, when they came for the consultation, the first thing they tell me is devalue the dollar. First thing. I say, no. They come back the next year. First thing they tell me is devalue the dollar. I say, no. They come back the next year, they say devalue. I say, look, you see you? And I went to Washington and I demanded that they change the mission chief, the IMF mission chief. I'm fed up with this nonsense. Every time they come, devalue the dollar. They quarrel with me, you know. They say we don't do that. I say, well, stay there, you know. Until you change that person, we wouldn't be talking. So, eventually, they changed the IMF mission chief and we began to get responsible, reliable people. But they still come with this devaluation thing. We have fought, not just them, we have fought people in the private sector. We have fought people in the media for the last 9.5 years. We have refused to devalue the dollar. You know why? You'd have heard the new Prime Minister, Stuart Young, speak about the calculations they did when they worked out all these measures the UNC want to do. Cut that tax, cut this tax, reduce this, reduce that, give away this, give away that. Work it out. They want to devalue the dollar to 15 to 1. Now let me tell you what will happen then. If you're a public servant, you're earning $10,000 a month. I'm just using an example. They give you the 10%. You're going to 11,000. They devalue the dollar down to 15 to 1. You know what you could buy with that 11,000? Half of what you could buy with the 10,000. You just cut your purchasing power by 45%. That is what they're doing. So we have resisted. No matter what advice we get, no matter what they tell us, we know what will happen when we devalue the dollar. And we have defended our dollar. We have protected our dollar because the first thing that will happen is inflation. Food prices will go through the roof. Everything imported into Trinidad and Tobago, which is a lot, price will double. Everything will become more expensive. You will eat grass if we devalue the dollar. And that is what you have to look out for with the other side. Because I wouldn't use any polite language. They come up with some highfalutin talk about how they will adjust the dirty managed float. That is old talk. Right now, we allow the dollar to move within a narrow band from about 6.7 to 1 to about 6.8 to 1, all inside of there. It's called a managed float, so we manage it. So we don't allow the dollar to go past 6.8. We don't allow it to pass that. 6.79, 6.77, 6.75. That is what we do. That's what the PNM does. But it ain't crossing 6.8. That is called a managed float. The leader of the UNC has decided to do away with that. They say they're going to scrap that and let the dollar find its own level. 15 to 1. So one thing you could be sure of, when you elect the next PNM government on April 28th, we ain't devaluing the dollar. We will continue to protect it and defend it for the duration of our term in government. We ain't doing that stupidness. And the other thing I want to tell you is ignore the nonsense in the papers. I saw some individual who made no impact when he was in government with us. No impact. Insignificant. Might even call him a non-entity. He on a UNC platform. Total waste of time, you're right. Insignificant non-entity of no political substance whatsoever. And I had to read the papers, I think it was today or yesterday. These same analysts, the ones with the false papers and things. Oh, that will make a big impact on the election. That time making no impact. In fact, UNC might lose votes. But let me tell you how we dealt with the problem when we came in. I think it was the mayor referred to the fact that when we came in 2015, we had enough money in the treasury to last for 3 days. And I have to repeat this story. When I got into finance, within a short period of time, the then governor of the central bank came to see me. And he said, you have enough money to last for 3 days. I said, what? He said, yes, the overdraft is at 99%. I said, yeah. He said, I'm going to turn off the tap. I said, tap? What do you mean by that? He said, I'm going to stop honoring government checks. Oh, so if you see how we had to scramble. That was in September. If you see how we had to scramble. But we managed. We use a lot of innovation and ingenuity. And we managed to go and find the money. So we were able to pay every single public servant their salary in September of 2015. We came in on September 10th, I believe. And they tell us we have enough money to go to September 13th. And salary due at the end of the month. We paid everybody. Every monthly paid worker, every daily paid worker, everybody in all the RHAs, everybody in WASA, everybody in TNTech. We paid them all. And that wasn't all, you know. After we get through that crisis, we had to find our way through October, November. Not easy, you know. They spent out everything, you know. When they came into government in 2010, and I have to repeat this, the government's account at the central bank was in credit. $6 billion in credit. When they left It was $10 billion in overdraft. They spent out $16 billion from the government account, from credit to debit. $16 billion. And when I look at how they got their money, because when you take a look at revenue in their time, they were happy and lucky, you know. They had an oil price of $95, $94, $97. That is what they had for their 5 years, you know. Sometimes over $100 a barrel of oil is what they had to enjoy for their 5 years. When you come in, it was $40. And by February 2016, it was $26. $26 a barrel. That's what we had to handle in 2016. While they were dealing with $100 oil. And I remember as well, those were difficult times. Those times were rough. We had to cut expenditure. Dr. Rowley went, addressed the nation, and asked every government ministry to reduce expenditure. I think it was by 7%. We had no choice. Let me read out some of the numbers for you so you could understand what we had to face when we come in. When they were in the government in 2014, their revenue, $58 billion. That is what they had, $58 billion. And they so thought that the good times would continue and they would be in government in 2016. When I came in, I had 2 weeks to write the 2016 budget. 2 weeks. So we had to use what the technocrats had prepared for the UNC government. We didn't have time. Their budget estimate for 2016 revenue was $60 billion. Because they were still living in dreams, living in the clouds. And misappropriating a lot of the money too. Let me tell you what happened. The thing dropped from $58 billion in 2014 down to $45 billion in 2016. That is when oil dropped to $26. Down to $36 billion in 2017. That was hard times, you know. You could imagine you're running a country with an appetite for expenditure around 62 billion because they spent $63 billion in 2014. So the country had an appetite for $63 billion of government expenditure. And they had $58 billion in revenue. So they had a deficit of about $5 billion. We come in, and within 2 years, we're facing revenue of $36 billion. That is $22 billion less, you know. $22 billion less. And the country still have an appetite for a $60 billion economy. And they gave us a gift. I heard a lie recently. You must vote for them because they are the only government that will pay back pay. And I need to talk about this back pay story. That's a real lie. When I go out walking, from time to time, I will meet a member of the PSA. In both with the back pay. I say, but your leader ain't signed the agreement. The agreement? I say, yes. The PSA had to sign the agreement first before you could get back pay. That is how teachers got back pay. That's how police officers got back pay. That is how prisons officers get back pay. That's how fire service get back pay. That's how the army get back pay. We paid out over $1 billion in back pay in December 2023. This PNM government. But I am talking now about 2016, 2017. UNC with the usual mad, reckless promises give public servants a 14% increase. They didn't pay no back pay, no. They give that as a gift to the incoming PNM government. And you know how much we had to pay? $6 billion in back pay. And we had to pay that in 2016 and 2017. And I'm showing the numbers. Revenue dropped from $58 to $36 billion. We lost $22 billion. But we still paid because this government makes good on its undertakings. We paid every cent of that $6 billion in back pay. Every single cent of that $6 billion. So this PNM government, we paid $6 billion, we paid $1 billion, we have paid over $7 billion in back pay. This PNM government, UNC ain't pay 1 cent in back pay. 1 cent. And now we are preparing to pay more back pay, because not only did we offer the public sector unions 4% for a particular period, we just offered them a couple months ago 5%. It's 9% that we have offered them. So I'm urging every member of the PSA, you need to deal with your leaders. They are holding back your back pay. Everybody else get back pay except public servants, because you have union leaders that want you to suffer. But anyway, I assume that sooner or later they will come to their senses. So revenue dropped from 58 to 36 billion. Get up and get. We make all kinds of changes. We change the oil tax system. Dr. Rowley and Mr. Young gone all about improving our revenue base and so on. So we start to climb back up. So in 2018, we went up to $42 billion. As we go forward now, we go to 2019, and we keep climbing up. COVID come. So we keep climbing, the revenue keep climbing, it keep climbing. We get up to $47 billion in 2019. So we climb from 36 to 44 to 46, and we're going up. Things going good, we building, recovering. COVID come. You know what COVID do? Drop us all the way back down below 36 billion, drop us down to $34 billion. So all the progress we made between 2017 and 2019, COVID mashed we up. And what happened? We used all kind of innovative measures. We changed the way you could access money from the Heritage Fund. We gone to the international agencies, we get loans. And we were able in 2020 and in 2021 to keep this country afloat. It's this PNM that saved this country during COVID. You see how much money I'm talking about? 58 billion under UNC. That's the amount of money they had to play with. We dropped down to 34 billion in 2020. It had one time oil go to zero. Oil gas price dropped from $4 under them to $1 under PNM. That's the kind of thing we had to deal with. But, believe it or not, don't listen to them on the damn nonsense. Look at the numbers. The numbers tell a story. We dropped down to 34 billion in 2020, but through a whole series of measures, we start to climb up again. 37 billion in 21, 54 billion in 22, 55 billion in 23. So we took revenue from 34 billion under COVID and up to 55 billion in 2023. We increased by 21 billion in just 3 years. We rescued this country. People don't understand the amount of work we had to do to build back from that disaster that was COVID. But we did it. Kept everybody whole. Paid public servants' salaries on time. Every month, everybody get his salary on time. So don't listen to them and their foolishness. The other thing they don't want to talk about is our tax measures. When we came in, the personal allowance was $60,000 a year, which meant that if you're earning $5,000 a month, or less, 5,000 a month or less, you pay no tax. We ain't leave it there, no. We look after the people at the lowest end of the income spectrum. We raise it to 6,000. We raise it to 7,000. We raise it to $7,500. Under this PNM, anybody earning $7,500 a month or less, your salary is tax-free. Under them, it was $5,000. We add $2,500. That is over $600 a month in the pockets of people earning $7,500 a month or less. We did that. We did a number of other things in terms of pensions. We recognize the plight of old people, elderly people. When we came in, there was something called a limit, a cap on pensions. $4,500. So if you're getting senior citizens grant or pension or old age pension, as they used to call it, of $3,500, you could only, sorry, if you're getting NIS of $3,000, you could only get a pension, old age pension, of $1,500. We met that so. And we recognize there are many people who can't survive, elderly people can't survive on $4,500 a month. So we kept increasing. We take it up to $5,000. We take it up to $5,500. And we take it up to where it is now, $6,000 a month. So you could get $3,000 NIS and $3,000 in pension. That's under this PNM. We did that. Don't listen to them and their old talk. And we keep increasing the minimum wage as well. We've increased the minimum wage all the way up to $20.50. That is PNM performance, because we care about the people who are least able to look after themselves. So elderly people, people on minimum wage, we have systematically targeted them and helped them. Don't forget that. And let me tell you something. If you make the mistake and elect those clowns, I'm being very charitable, I could call them crooks, I could call them thieves, bandits, liars, cheats, immoral, unethical. I have a whole vocabulary there I could call them. But let's call them clowns. Clowns. Because you heard some disappointing news recently where some of the initiatives that we were making with Venezuela to get natural gas from Venezuela, because Trinidad and Tobago has been producing oil and gas for a very, very long time. We've been producing oil for 100 years. We are what they call an old oil and gas province. We're old. And the older you are, the harder it is to get oil and gas out of the ground. So our production has been going down, as happens in every other country in the world that has our history of being very mature and very old as an oil and gas province. So we saw the opportunity. Stuart Young, Dr. Rowley, saw the opportunity to get gas from our neighbor just across the Gulf of Paria. And they were very successful in getting the United States to give us a waiver on the various sanctions on Venezuela. But we heard some disappointing news recently that the new US president decided that done. I'm not giving up on that. I am sure with proper negotiation, that matter will be dealt with in due course. But it's a point I'm making to you. We ran this country with oil at $26 a barrel. We ran this country with gas at just over $1 MMBTU. We ran this country with a $20 billion hole in government revenue. And everybody got what they were entitled to. Every pensioner got their pension. Everybody on public assistance got their grants. Everybody on disability assistance got their grants. Every public servant, everybody in the public sector got their salary on time at the end of the month. And we did that with $26 oil. So I'm telling you, with what has happened there, with those Venezuela licenses, the only political party that could manage Trinidad and Tobago over the next 5 years is the People's National Movement. Because we have proven it. We proved it. We showed when we got that COVID shock how we build back the economy. We have the talent. We have the technology. We can do it. Them can do nothing. And that's why you have to believe the story, the message that they are going to devalue the dollar. That is the only way they could do the foolishness them talking about. They have no money for that. They could count just like we, you know. All of these documents that I am referring to here are public documents. Every time I did a national budget, I had to lay 10 documents on the table in the parliament, circulate to all the opposition, and those jokers up at the university. And they could read and spell just like everybody else. And they can see how difficult it was in those years when oil prices dropped to almost nothing, when gas price dropped to almost nothing. They know the money is not there. They know they cannot fulfill those promises. So they're just trying to fool you They're just trying to trick you. And I ask you, the public, not just the voters in Diego Martin, because I know it will be a landslide. I know it will be a tidal wave. Dr. Rowley used to say the tidal wave begin in the west, but I think it will begin in the east this time. And we go wash through the whole borough of Diego Martin. We go wash Diego Martin. I know that. But that is not where the victory will be won or lost. I want you to talk to all your family and your friends and your associates in the battleground seats, because we have battleground seats. I went to one today. I went to launch a project to restore a post office in Sangre Grande, 125 years old, right in the heart of Sangre Grande. And I went deliberately, because that is a project which the Sangre Grande community will take intense pride in. I went there to give our candidate a boost, and I'm satisfied he got a boost from that ceremony that we had today in Grande. Grande is a battleground seat. La Joqueta Talparo is a battleground seat. St. Joseph is a battleground seat. Tunapuna is a battleground seat. San Fernando West is a battleground seat. Tobago is a battleground. And therefore, I want you to talk to your family, your friends, your associates. You must bring out every single PNM vote in the battleground seats, and that is how we will march on to victory. I remember a day, I think it was 1991. In that campaign, a lady came to our office. She was living in Tunapuna. But she found herself in Maraval. On election day, she had no transport. I jump in my car, I say, madam, come with me. I drive to Tunapuna, and I carry to the police station in Tunapuna to vote. You know why? Because I understood how important that was. So we cannot just rest on our laurels in Diego Martin, where we will mash them up. As I said, when I go on walkabouts, I can't see them. I'm sure, Hans, same thing with you. Same thing with you, Simon. You can't see them, you can't find them, you can't hear them. You don't know what's going on up here. Don't be fooled. That is not where the battle is. The battle is in the marginals. And I remember back in 2001, Eddie Hart calling me. He was then the candidate for the Tunapuna election. He called me. He said, Colin, I want help. I said, what do you want? He said, under pressure here, boy. They put in booths in front of all the polling stations. This is the other side. Eh? I said, no problem, man. Jump in my car, drive up, go to the police station, tell the police, pick up 2 police, gone. We take down every single one of them that night. And then I stayed with Eddie. I leave my home 6 o'clock in the morning in 2001, gone to Tunapuna, work with Eddie all day. By 2 o'clock, I say, Eddie, how you feeling? He said, I'm feeling good. I say, well, I gone. And I gone back now to Maraval, vote, and I win the seat by a margin of 7,000 votes. That is what happens in Diego Martin. But we have to help. And I feel I will find myself in one of those marginal seats on election day. I going up there to help them. But vote first, eh? All that I sending that message to. Vote first. Don't play with that, eh? Go and vote first before you try to help up there. But I want you to understand how difficult your life will be. How difficult Trinidad and Tobago's life will be. There are so many things the PNM has done over the years. Every single thing of substance in this country was done by the PNM. Free education introduced by Dr. Eric Williams. Government assistance for tuition expenses. Free tertiary education, university education, introduced under the Patrick Manning government. I had the privilege to be Minister of Tertiary Education at the time. The Chronic Disease Assistance Program, free medication, introduced under the Patrick Manning government. And again, I had the honor to be the Minister of Health. Find myself in the right place sometimes. But if you look at every single thing, every single major highway in this country, built by the PNM. Every single major institution, every single building of significance, built by the PNM. In the last 5 years, look at the number of hospitals that we have built. Point 14, Arima, Sangre Grande, Port of Spain, This is major hospitals I'm talking about, not health centers, not like that magnificent health center we have here in Diego Martin just across the road. That is small thing compared to the Arima Hospital, if any of you have ever been there. State of the art. If you have ever been to the Sangre Grande Hospital, I remember when I was Minister of Health, doctors were working out of 2 containers. Now you have a state-of-the-art hospital in Sangre Grande. Yes, of course. 2 hospitals in Tobago built under the People's National Movement. 2. One in Roxborough, one in Signal Hill. 2. I mean, the amount of thing we do in Tobago. I don't have time for that. I will leave that to the senior Tobagonian amongst us, if he so desires, of course. But we have done so much in healthcare, it's extraordinary. I don't think there's any other country in the region. In fact, I know there's no other country in the Western Hemisphere, from Canada all the way down to Argentina, that provides the level of healthcare that we provide to our citizens, free of charge, in world-class, state-of-the-art facilities. And it's we, PNM, do that, not them. They always like to piggyback on everything we do, but them and do nothing. You go and check their record. What have they ever done? What they ever do? I'm not hearing you. They're thief. That's what they have done. That's what they have done. But look at all the road infrastructure. Look at the Curep interchange, built at almost half the price them wanted to build it for. Look at the highway to Point Fortin. They couldn't finish it as we finished that. Yes, I know. But it's not just physical infrastructure. It's all sorts of other things that deal with the quality of life in Trinidad and Tobago. The 2 brand new fast ferries that ply the inter-island route from Tobago to Trinidad, state-of-the-art, world-class. Again, they have no country from Canada to Argentina that have 2 world-class ferries like that, running a trip like that. Highly subsidized, affordable. It's PNM do that. I could just go on and on and on, but I don't want to because I think Dr. Rowley wants to speak soon. But the fact of the matter is, you look at any public service in Trinidad and Tobago, any service delivered in Trinidad and Tobago, whatever it is, I take something as simple as old age pension, is PNM introduced that. Everything in this country that matters was conceptualized, inspired, created, implemented, and delivered by the People's National Movement. Every single thing. And we have demonstrated over the last 9.5 years, we've gone through some tough times. It wasn't easy. Sometimes I had to call Dr. Rowley. I say, I ain't sure I could pay salaries this month, you know. I'm sending you a note. We had to go and borrow some money. And of course, he would oblige. You all don't know these things. That happened. But 9.5 years of pressure to make sure that this country survived, thrived, and grew and developed. We did that. And we are the only political party with the capacity, the knowledge, the expertise, and the capability to do that. So, as we move forward, remember what the PNM has done. Recognize what the PNM can do. And make sure, as I told you, you talk to everybody you know in those seats I call out there, and make sure you drag them out of the house to vote for the People's National Movement. And then on April 28th, we will say, the PNM is great. I'll turn it around. The PNM is great. The PNM is great. And it has prevailed. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister Imbert, for, as usual, laying bare the facts concerning our economy and dispelling the lies that is spread by those trying to remove the PNM from government. Diego Martin Northeast You have the task before you to ensure that all 5 candidates who are vying to unseat our minister in Burt lose their deposit on April 28th. We must remind them that the PNM stands head and shoulders above the rest, not only in Diego Martin, but in Trinidad and Tobago. Now, I just have a quick announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, with the driver of PCH 4526, attend to your vehicle immediately. You are blocking some members of the media who need to leave immediately. PCH 4526. Thank you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment we've all been waiting for. It is time for a very special message for you, Diego Martin, from a distinguished national leader, accomplished geologist, and former Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Wait. Born in Mason Hall, Tobago, he holds a PhD in geochemistry from the University of the West Indies and began his career in academia and public service before transitioning into politics. First elected to Parliament in 1991, he served as the member for Diego Martin West for over 3 decades, winning 9 consecutive elections. Throughout his career, he has held several key cabinet posts, including agriculture, planning, housing, and trade, before becoming political leader of the People's National Movement in 2010, a role in which he revitalized the party and led it to back-to-back general election victories in 2015 and 2020. As Prime Minister, Dr. Rowley steered Trinidad and Tobago through a decade marked by global economic shocks and the economic COVID-19 pandemic. His administration prioritized fiscal discipline and the revitalization of the energy sector. Under his leadership, Trinidad and Tobago recorded one of the Caribbean's most effective pandemic responses. Dr. Rowley stands here tonight not just as the political leader of the PNM, but as a statesman, a patriot, and the epitome of steadfast leadership in Trinidad and Tobago. It is my distinct honor tonight to introduce our political leader and former Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley.
Yes, I can hear them saying, boys, stop living in the past. Where can I find that energy, the raw magic that comes down from the grassroots? Yes, I'm from a place where soca, the resounding power. You could feel any time, any hour, sunshine or shower. You will feel it anywhere you look, and it real like a story, man. I come from when ground used to carry it. We used to carry it, but the ground used to carry it. We used to carry it, but the ground used to carry it. We used to carry it, but the ground used to carry it. We used to carry it when Arima had it, Maturita had it, Santa Rosa had it, Donyaruka had it, Imova had it, Insawa had it, Soparia had it, look all over, downtown Fed was the vibes.
Are you ready to go home? Are you ready to go home? Diego Martin, we are home. Good night, Diego Martin. To all my former colleagues of the government, members of the PNM, members of the Diego Martin community, and members of the nation of Trinidad and Tobago. I am delighted at this time in my career and in my life to be able to be here with you to make the shortest speech I have made on a political platform in a long, long time. And that is, vote Hans de Wiens in Diego Martin West. Vote Simon de Nobrega in Diego Martin Central. Vote Colin Imbert in Diego Martin Northeast. Vote for the PNM. If I say nothing else to you tonight, That is the message that I've brought you. It feels a little funny to be in this environment in Diego Martin, where I spent a major part of my adult life being a candidate and fighting to win. Tonight, I am supporting my colleagues 1,000%. Only here in Diego Martin, I just named 3 candidates. 1, the most experienced Minister of Finance in the history of Trinidad and Tobago. 2, a relatively young man as Minister of Government, but he has served in the cabinet. So while he's going back in Diego Martin Central, he's going back with some significant experience under his belt. And 3, as I move out, after decades of public service, you could not have found a more appropriate young man to represent Diego Martin West than Hans Zizili. Qualified, energetic, and eager to serve the people of the community of which he's a part. So tonight in his schoolyard, I want to say to Diego Martin West and the Diego Martin community, we know exactly why our campaign says, we're ready as you are ready, we're ready as we have been, and we are responsible for this country. Those 3 candidates symbolize what is the PNM. Ladies and gentlemen, as we gather in our numbers here in Diego Martin, would you believe we are the only political entity in this country that could have 4 meetings like this going on at the same time? We are here in Diego Martin. They're up there in Laventil. They're in Southern Moruga. And then Bonaccord and Tobago. PNM, 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 PNM. And you heard from the Minister of Finance, former Minister of Finance, who is now in public utilities. He's been around the government. And he explained to you how we, a PNM government, manage the country's affairs in extremely difficult circumstances. I can tell you, I'm the only person who was in the office of Prime Minister when the quoted price for a barrel of oil was -$1. Meaning that in the places where the prices were being fixed, they couldn't sell there, giving it away. The quotation was like, I was there. I was the only prime minister leading a cabinet in this country that had to face a pandemic. Because the pandemic before was in 1917. We became a country of our own in 1962. First time as a country we had to face that. And of course, I led the only government that built 5 hospitals in his term in office. And tonight, I'm not going to keep you all very late, but I'm going to touch on a couple of things. Because you see, not being a candidate, not being the prime minister, I had a little bit of time to observe from a distance. As political leader, my party is in the election, and I'm here as political leader, standing shoulder to shoulder with every candidate and every member of the People's National Movement. Because I have that responsibility. And as I made the decision to come out of government, announced that in Tobago in January, first week of January, that I will not be taking you as Prime Minister into the next election, I then triggered a situation which could have gone pear-shaped, could have created confusion, could have become a problem. But because of the responsible nature of the People's National Movement, with days to go before a general election, the transition from one prime minister to another, and for one government remaining in office to be the government on the 29th of April could not have gone smoother because of the responsible action of the People's National Movement. Let any of the others try that, and it's bacchanal, chaos, and couture. That's what you will get. Ladies and gentlemen, don't take that for granted. Don't take it for granted. I saw, I remember when there was a by-election here in Diego Martin Central, and Ken Valley was the candidate for the PNM. One of the reasons why Ken Valley was chosen is because Valley had been a public servant, very well known to the public service. And Diego Martin was the constituency that had probably the most public servants in any one constituency. So this valley is full of public servants, and today in the hills around as well. But let me say something to you all. There are 90,000 people who look to the government for their payroll at the end of the month. As public servants or as others. 90,000 people who at the end of the month, the government has to ensure that the check that they get is backed by something in the bank. We, in the last few years, have gone through the kinds of difficulty that the Minister of Public Utilities spoke about, he having served as Minister of Finance for 9 years. And we were never late in making those payments. And in every year, there were people in this country, if they didn't get a government check supporting them as their pension or as their disability grant, they had nothing else to get. We were never late. We were never absent with that. $5 to $6 billion a year in cash given to people. And I will tell you something. I have watched this election campaign from the sidelines for the first time. And I noticed a character about it. Those who are opposed to us, they are specialists in talking about what you're not getting. Specialists in talking about what they're going to give you. Spreading fear and hatred and absolute horse manure. But ladies and gentlemen, they know that they have nothing else in a campaign. Imagine, I have heard a former prime minister who's leading the other organization, that's in front of the PNM, continue to tell this notorious lie. I heard her in an advertisement tonight, trying to give you the impression that they are the party of education and the party that does something for families and young people, that they built 104 schools. You know something? I'm from Tobago. Hans has a father from Tobago. Ask your father about trying to tell people about belonging to a place that had no school. There was a time in Tobago when the only village that didn't have a school was Buku Point. Every other village had a school. So when you tell somebody in Tobago that they went to Buku Point school, that means fighting words, eh? But now Buku has one of the finest schools in Tobago, but there was a time when there was no school in Buku Point. If the UNC had to build 104 schools during their short stay in office under Kamla Prasad Bisesa, it had to be that we had a lot of this country that had no schools. And? But that's a big ad, harassing you every day with that foolishness and that lie. And we asked them, name 10 of the schools that you built of the 104. No answer. You know why? In 2015, this school building program, all they did was what they did for the previous 4 years. They awarded, must say, 100 contracts to contractors, and then they left the stage. When we came into government, we met all these contractors with these contracts. Some of them start some school repair, some start some school building. No budget to back it. When we looked at it, it was over $2.5 billion in contracts that they awarded, and they paid the contractors something called the mobilization, which means your first payment. And usually that is about 10% of the contract. So they would have paid out in that 9 months of 2015, 10% of $2.5 billion, that's $250 million. And the contractors had that. And then they descended upon our government to say, look, I have a contract to build a school or to repair a school, all at the same time. And that is when the pressure that Minister Imber talked about was upon us. So clearly, Our priority couldn't be to go and try to build 100 schools or to repair 100 schools when lives are being lost and we have to feed you home and send food for you and make sure you get a pension. So we systematically and responsibly took the school program and carried it on, and we've built a number of those schools. We've opened some of them, and the program is still going on. Yet that woman is there talking about, we built 104 schools, so when UNC win, everybody wins. When UNC win, everybody lost. Everybody lost. Ladies and gentlemen, I was in the cabinet when Patrick Manning as Prime Minister raised the idea of expanding our young people, our citizens in general, accessing tertiary education, meaning beyond primary, beyond secondary, some other education, because there's a large number of people in the country who wanted to develop and improve themselves, but they didn't have the financial means to do it. And that came GATE. I was there when GATE, as an idea came up, and the cabinet took the decision, and we implemented GATE, where once you could get accepted into an institution to further your education, you had the government backing you. And of course, you know, our people, it didn't take very long for it to be abused. There were people who were going to this gate, this door, that window, and just abusing it. When we came in, we reviewed it. We are committed to it. It is still going on. On this campaign, you see some misguided person embarrassing her school. Because, you know, I'm from Bishop, the real bishops in Tobago, co-ed school. And then you have three bishops in Trinidad. You see a girl coming and saying, she from Bishop School, and thanking Auntie Cam, because Auntie Cam gives you a laptop. We, in a difficult, responsible situation, ensure that the corruption in laptop that they were carrying on with didn't go on. We have a means test that anybody can participate in. And once the parent does not have the means to provide the laptop, we have provided almost 100,000 laptops to students, and the program continues. And as if that wasn't bad enough, there's another one in one of the advertisements to try to get you to think that they are your savior. One showing he applied to GATE and he was rejected. According to the UNC, in GATE, nobody is to be turned around. All you have to do is apply and the UNC will give you GATE, a GATE support. That sound like sense to you? That sound like anything that you should look at? What you should look at is the people who are telling you that because they think you're stupid and you're malleable. They could squeeze you into shape, or you're ductile, they could pull you into strands, and you will believe that since you're not getting it from this government, they will give you. Give you with what? Give you with what? Don't forget the fundamental principle outlined by the Prime Minister of Jamaica, which says, yes, I know we all care, but it takes cash to care. It takes cash to care. Public servants, in this Diego Martin and elsewhere, how you think we manage to keep you out there where you were in these difficult situations without you having to worry about it? It is because a competent and knowledgeable PNM government up front took steps to ensure that we increase the revenue of the country. And in the period that we started to negotiate with oil companies without breaking a single contract, we attracted $38 billion more in cash that we would not have had unless we had renegotiated those arrangements. And we didn't do it for this year or last year. We have restructured the LNG business to make sure that as we go forward into the medium and long term, we earn more from the LNG business. We increase our shareholding in the LNG trains. We are now shareholders in trains 2 and train 3, with train 1 shut down because of shortage of gas. If we didn't do this restructuring, we would have been confined to an 11% in train 4, and God alone knows what the future would have held for us when other people as shareholders would have been doing well and we would have been catching hell. That's what the government does. I, as your prime minister, when I was your prime minister early in the game, I said to you here, and you cannot forget, I said to you, we are in difficult times, and there are those who are advising us, and there were those who were saying and writing and analyzing and saying that we were a candidate for an IMF program. And I said to you, as long as we are in the government as PNM, there will be no IMF program in this country. We will make our own medicine, we'll prescribe our own medicine, we'll take our own medicine, and we will make our own decisions. That's what we have done. And tonight, having been your prime minister until the 16th of March 2025, I kept that promise to you. I've kept you out of the IMF. And of course, there are those who are telling us to devalue the currency. We explain to you again, as a responsible government, devaluation does not give you one additional US dollar. Not one. What it does, it takes more Trinidad and Tobago dollars to buy one US dollar. And as long as you are having to put more Trinidad and Tobago dollars to buy a US dollar to be able to spend this Forex, then the value of the Trinidad and Tobago dollar is worth less and your costs would have gone up. We have too many schools in this country for that to be a difficult equation for you to understand. It is called devaluation. You as a person don't want to be devalued, you want to be respected. Your dollar. The government of Barbados has taken the position, living largely only on tourism, and in an IMF program, have taken the position we are not devaluing our currency beyond 2 Barbados dollars to 1 US dollar. Go and talk to any Barbadian. Call your friend after 2 Barbados dollars to 1 US dollar, and we're working from there. Because they know the minute you have to pay more for a US dollar, it becomes a pain and a pressure on the population, especially the vast majority of people who don't have any US dollars to convert. You are a price taker. Those who are importing your clothes, your food, your medicine, they will increase the price to you. But the few who have US dollars overnight, as you strike the devaluation, they get richer. Because they no longer have to give you a US dollar for 6.8. You will get one for 10 or 12 or 15. What's the problem? And then you have these idiots who cannot talk about what they have done truthfully or what they represent honestly. I'm going to give you this. I'm going to give you that. Anything you want, they will give you. Anything that they will give you because it's election and you want something. What you really want in this country, in this difficult time, people of Trinidad and Tobago, is a responsible government in office. That's what you want. All this nonsense about, I'm going to give you this, they look around, and anything they think you want. Okay, tonight, the lady was there again reading something that they give her to read in an advertisement. Food prices. We all know that food prices are important to all of us. We try to encourage you to grow what you eat and eat what you grow. Go to the market and buy, go to the supermarket and discriminate, follow the prices and don't be taken, right? Did you hear from the UNC how they intend to change and bring down food prices? Where are they getting cheaper flour from? Wheat is expensive because the main wheat producing nation in the world is under war. Some of them, they can't even go in the field to plant the wheat. The port from which they export the wheat is under bombs. So supply chain. Do they tell you where they're going to get you for cheaper rice? They're talking about the price of sugar and the price of onion and the price of curry. Have any one of them told you how they will bring that price down on the 29th of April? On the 28th of April, if you go and put God out your thoughts, thinking that they will bring down your food price. You wait until the 29th of April when they themselves start selling you food. And when you see the price going up, they will tell you, we're in government already. You hear them talking about bringing down, one of the ads is they're not going to have to pay charges in banks. We all know that banks are trying to make money and they charge you there and so on. You going to expect that the UNC come into office will tell the banks don't charge interest and don't make bank charges? That is all tomfoolery. But what you have to be careful about is not these nonsense, Regard those for what they are. Some of them, Mr. Humbert just talk about facing, 5 people running in Diego Martin Northeast. They just want to be in the news to hear the name called because they know their backs are going to get cut. But, some of them in a bar, they drink a rum, they drink 2 beers before they go to the urinal, they form a party. Some of them, they have friends. Somebody, they're just taking you for fools and telling you the only thing that holds them together is that you against the PNM. You bad-mouthing the PNM. You think the PNM can give you more. But let me tell you tonight, of the resources available to the people of Trinidad and Tobago, given the fact that the PNM is concerned about your quality of life, that is why we maintain subsidies on electricity. You don't pay the whole bill. Water, you don't pay the whole bill. Health, that what you pay in health charge can't even buy 1 dose of medicine, so it's free. Education, from ECC all the way to university. The roads you drive on of international standard, you don't pay a cent in toll. Ladies and gentlemen, and of course, many people wait for every 4 weeks to get their government check. Yet, you have these political nitwits and nincompoops stirring you up, making you uncomfortable, encouraging you in hatred even based along racial lines, trying to make you feel that you are under some excessive pressure because of government incompetence or government uncaring. No other country in the Western Hemisphere provides its citizens with all that we provide you with here in Trinidad and Tobago. None. In America, the biggest charge you have as a young person, go make a child in America and have a job. When you hear they send your bill for child care, is 90% of some people's salary. It's not here you go buy tanti and then to help you with the child, You pay through your nose for child care. And don't get sick, because if you don't have health insurance, couple smoke you and your pipe. I have friends and relatives who live in Canada. Good system. You know how long you have to wait in some of the situations in Canada for health care? In Trinidad and Tobago, we complain. But you think out there it just happens like that? Longer than Trinidad and Tobago. In the United Kingdom, it's even worse. Carl, you know that? Huh? And of course, we here have leading edge technology, MRI, CAT scan. You go in an American hospital and go and order MRI and CAT scan and you will see the bill after. But we have it here for free. So these idiots could encourage you to be upset. This country, we have our challenges. Not everything is going right. We are still building a nation here. We still have attitude problems. We still have all kinds of problems. But we have so much going for us. You enjoy this country. It's your country and it's better than most. Better than most. And of course, look at who is trying to encourage you to turn your back on the PNM. We have 41 seats in the parliament, right? Let me pick 10 of them for you right now. Not the PNM, the other side. I was making some notes here just now. look who is bombarding you with who you should vote for, right? You heard from Imbert, you heard from Simon, you heard from Hans, and you heard from the PNM during this campaign. Here who telling you who to vote for in this country because we are the worst, the country is the worst, the government is the worst. Steve Ferguson. He spent the last 20-odd years trying to not appear in court to answer questions at home and abroad for public money that was stolen by the hundreds of millions in this country. His colleagues have already been jailed in America. Never appeared to defend himself. That is what something that happened already. Them running campaign right now, throwing money on the ground like Smarties, like Sweetie, hoping that people who normally would vote sensibly will vote because them give you some money. Elections are now about who could throw more money on the ground. Well, the PNM has no money to throw on the ground because we ain't thief no money and we ain't hiding from no court. That is one. The next one is the international scam called Jack Warner. He is walking the roads of this country, escorting candidates and recommending candidates. Have you people in this country lost your cotton-picking mind? A man who is hiding from court, a man who has been convicted, who lost a case for $75 million in a place called something called Center of Excellence, which was stolen from FIFA. He could recommend to you who the candidate should be and who the government should be and who the country, because somebody in an earlier period of madness make him acting prime minister in Trinidad and Tobago. That is two. Number three, another one called Munilal. He has already appeared before a judge in this country, and the judge in his finding has found that contrary to what they're saying, this is no witch hunt. You put in your defense to the allegations made against you by the state enterprise called EMBD. This is a man who was a minister of government. Still there, coming to tell you, he waited until the lady fall down to pass over she to become the leader, while he has matters in the court. The other one, now in Cuba, apparently in Cuba North, Chaguanas West, Jolene John, against the less said, the better. The less said, the better. Another one, Arnold Roberts. He is mouthpiece. He is, again, the less said, the better. Except to tell you that under the current UNC leader, he started out in a program for $6 million called Live Sport. Today, the police has a document as thick as your chair seat with first-class information of the $400 million that was stolen in that program, calling the name, the rank, the serial number, who did what, where, when, and how. That's in the police hand in front of the DPP. But them so coming into government. Another one called Anand Ramlogan, being described as the brilliant lawyer by the head of the party that wants to be the prime minister. Brilliant lawyer. How many criminal charges he on? Then there's one called David Lee. The DPP is burning the midnight oil, trying to get him before a court to answer. Another one called Rachi Ram. He had a seat. They move him out. He coming in through the Senate. Promised to come through the Senate because he find we don't have enough money in this country. He had to bring some for them fellas, right? But let me talk to you about another one. That is 8 of them I mentioned there. There's one who appeared in the UNC crowd because UNC is a magnet for people who the police looking for. This fella called Bess, who was head of the SSA. And tonight, I want to accuse the UNC, especially Kamla Prasad Bisesa, of being the most dangerous person aspiring to leadership in Trinidad and Tobago's history. I am speaking to you here now as a person who just came out of the office of chairman of the National Security Council. The SSA is the country's premier information gathering entity. I could tell you as a statement of fact that the cabinet had not approved that the SSA be armed with automatic weapons. And in fact, it was only in November of the previous year that the cabinet approved a handful of handguns for SSA officers who a case was made that they may be in information gathering situations and find themselves confronted by armed criminal and may need to respond by carrying a concealed weapon, a sidearm. That is it. It came to my attention as head of the SSA that the SSA was penetrated by people who were outside of the agency, and unbeknownst to the cabinet, that the SSA was engaging in activities that shall remain undisclosed in public at this time. It was such a grievous situation that when the information came to me not as gossip or old talk, substantial information came to me that the SSA had deteriorated in that way. In 24 hours as Prime Minister and head of the National Security Council, I had to take action. The first action I took was to call Ambassador Philip Spencer in Washington, tell him, pack your bags, don't even speak to your wife, get on the next plane and call me on your land in Trinidad. Inside of 24 hours, Spencer was here. And the next day, I was able to tell the country that we have had to remove the head of the SSA, and Ambassador Spencer is now in that position, and we are dealing with the problem. What was the problem? Spencer is there now, right? A few weeks later, night time, about this same time or a little earlier, Spencer says to me, I'm at my desk. I'm going through the mail here, and a document has appeared here asking Mr. Bess, informing him that his purchase has arrived, and he is now to pay the 50% to complete the purchase because they've already paid 50%. You know what that agency had bought? Unbeknownst to the cabinet, unbeknownst to the population, unbeknownst to the Prime Minister, unbeknownst to anybody who should know. That agency bought 2 military-grade sniper weapons. These weapons have the capacity to hit and kill at 3,000 yards. And they also carry a telescope and a silencer, which means that whoever is using that, once they put that telescope on you, they could shoot you 3,000 yards away, and there's no report of a weapon being fired because the weapon has a silencer, not a suppression weapon. 2 of those were bought. Cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. Bought by the head of the SSA. To this day, instead of answering the question as to how you come to buy that, without a budget to buy it, without the cabinet approval, and that is now a matter which is attracting the attention of the police. But he could put on a UNC jersey and head for a public meeting to go and tell the country he is here to support Munilal. Understand? And it's them so who looking to be in the parliament. Because there was one called Denny. Remember Denny? Attracted by the same Kamala Prasad Bisesa from the same SSA before, who came on a platform and said, when they're using their race talk, that I told him to fire all Indians in the SSA. Turns out to be a lie. And when the media eventually spoke to him, telling the media she promised to make him a senator. Remember that story? But he was only old talk. In Best and the SSA case, there were 2 weapons purchased in that way. I had to tell the head of the SSA that night, Call the commissioner of police. Inform her of what is in front of you. Where is the weapon now? We don't know. Has it come through the custom yet? We don't know. I said, well, nobody is going to bed tonight until that question is answered, because those two weapons plays a threat to everybody in Trinidad and Tobago. And of course, since money was owed on it, I asked, who gave a permit for that? Is there a permit for it? Yes, a permit to a dealer for resale. That means the dealer is free to sell it to anybody who willing to pay for it. So I said, nobody goes to bed tonight until Commissioner of Police find the money, go and pay the outstanding half, and take possession of it. That's what happened. But he now on political platform come to support Mooni Lal. And as if that wasn't bad enough, another one called John Jeremy. He was a dog in the PNM before. And you all can't call him that. I could call him that. That is the man who generated on national television here one night a document that says that the wife of a high-ranking PNM minister has been found to have $40 million in a bank in Cayman. I go home from Parliament, meet my wife and my daughter in tears, because when they put that on the TV, they pretended to block out the name of the person, but my wife's name was visible. That is John Jeremy. John Jeremy. I don't have to tell you how many volumes of documents exist in this country from the UNC attacking John Jeremy and saying that he's unfit for office. I too came to that conclusion. And that is why as I select PNM people going forward under my leadership, he had to be where he was. And that is the person who the UNC would collect and put on a platform to tell the country that things so bad here that the only salvation for this country is to vote for the UNC. Ladies and gentlemen, you all have until the 28th of April to enjoy these things. But on the 28th of April, don't put God out your thoughts and put these people in charge of the affairs of Trinidad and Tobago. You ask yourself, what would have drawn John Jeremy to a UNC platform knowing? And if there's anybody in this country who knows about the dangerous corruption of the UNC's John Jeremy, because as Attorney General, he was required to, and he did in fact engage them on the matter of corruption. So in other words, all of that now is worth nothing. Let us dismiss all of that as it never happened. And he is now to tell you who to vote for and telling you yellow is the code. Something is radically wrong with our population if you can be allowing yourself to even think of giving these people control of this nation. 10 years ago, Gary Griffith was telling you, Kamla Prasad Besesa doesn't go to work. When I became Prime Minister, on the 9th of September, I went into the Prime Minister's office on the 10th of September. On the desk of the Prime Minister's office, a Prime Minister, was a truckload of files from 2013, 2014, and 2015 until I got there. I said, but I am required to sign these things as approving them when I wasn't even here. They say, yes, Prime Minister, because if a Prime Minister doesn't sign, the people can't get paid. All these people who acted can't get paid. And all of this would not have been authorized because no Prime Minister has signed it. I can tell you now, without fear of contradiction, when I left office at midnight on March 16, 2025, there was not a single file left there unattended. Not one. And I'll tell you worse than that. As I inquired into that situation, I was told by elements of the Prime Minister's office that the Prime Minister allowed people who had no right in the Prime Minister's office to be handling those files, and in some instances were actually signing for the Prime Minister. That is what they're coming to ask you to put them back. Put them back into office. Well, tonight I'm not going to hold you here much longer, but to ask you, when did you exonerate that group from the actions that they've taken against you the last time they had the opportunity? When? She told Jack Warner when he eventually was put out of the UNC, go and clear your name. Where did they clear Jack Warner's name? When was his name cleared? So that now he could recommend candidates to you. For me, I done. I'm a pensioner now. I'm not asking you to do anything for me. I'm asking you to do it for yourself. I'm asking you to protect your country from this band of bandits. You know what their biggest interest in this is? They formed something called coalition of interests. Yes, when all of them, I just gave you a little 10. You know 10 out of 40 is almost, 10 out of 41 is almost 25%. So a group that wants to run this country, 25% are known as crooks. Known crooks. Some of them are criminals. What the hell is wrong with you all? 25% of that group has issues with the police. When you see John Jeremy, ask him if the matter with respect to Ishgal Branson getting back his money in the Miami case matter where they paid back money that the thief in Piaco Airport that the police investigating, if he knows anything about it and if he got a lawyer yet. You understand why he with the UNC? Because you have to be of interest to the police. This is not a joke, you know. This is a hell of a serious matter. A set of people who are of interest to the police telling you that they're in front in the election. Well, if they happen to be in front, then you will be way in the back, you know. Because when they finish with you, you wouldn't make out your own behind. But for the children's sake, all of you citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, you are to be held personally responsible for what happens to this country from April 29th. Every one of you as adults. And you wouldn't be the first country to have had the opportunity to look after yourself, but gave it up to others who offered you more. They say the grass is always greener on the other side. And until you realize you're wearing green shades. Olio, Diego Martin, I have every confidence that the people of Diego Martin West would have chosen a young man in whom we are all proud. And you must come out and vote, because to not vote is to say, I don't care. And if you don't care, then you are irresponsible. You have children, you have grandchildren, and we all have a country to protect. That is why we need responsible people to give you responsible government. In Diego Martin Central, you have tried and tested Simon. He has been a member of cabinet in the office of the Prime Minister. He is now at peak in the prime of his life. You don't have to look for no candidate. You know what the Balize is. Put your X next to the Balize, next to Simon. And in Diego Martin Northeast, you know the capacity for hard work that Colin Mimbert has put out. He was in the center of the fire as Minister of Finance. As you know, in England, whenever the government gets into trouble, the first minister to lose his job is the Finance Secretary. Yeah, first man. Governments do that all the time. I stayed with Colin Mimbert because our assignment wasn't about who will act longer or who will act first. It is who can give the people the best result in the most difficult of situations. As Prime Minister of recent vintage, I can sleep well at nights about my country, knowing that I have left in office or that my party has selected people whom, if selected by the population, we have no problem, no trouble at all. You have the PNM. My biggest fear is that you would gamble and lose. Because when the UNC wins, everybody loses. This is not a matter to gamble about. This is not a matter to be irresponsible about. We cannot have everything we need. And even if we are going to eventually get everything we need, we're not going to get it at the same time. It's a progression. We've moved our budget, our earnings, from 36 billion in 2017, acting night and day and responsibly, and we rebuilt our economy. How many of you remember when this whole country was closed down? Nobody going to work. Nobody going to school. You can't go by your neighbor. And then after that, when we reopened it, the economy was there to receive you in your job because the government kept supporting the business sector, small business, large business. We borrowed the money. We paid the VAT that is owing. We sent food home in houses where there was no food. That is what a government does. And over time, we rebuilt the economy. And my proudest moment to tell you here tonight, I ran this country as Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. Every single day from the opposition is support nothing. They're in your ears every day like you're living in jail, you're living in hell. Yes, we have a crime problem, but we're fighting it on a 24-hour basis. And it's so bad, according to them, that I've walked out of that office voluntarily, 9.5 years, and never faced a vote of confidence once in the parliament from the opposition. And let that be my epitaph. Ladies and gentlemen, this country has been good to all of us. You are now required to be good to the young people and the children who haven't got their share yet. Don't gamble. Don't waste it. Vote PNM. Go to the polling station across the nation and support the PNM candidate wherever you are. Vote PNM. Vote PNM. Vote PNM. And at the night of the 28th of April 2025, when the PNM would once again have been selected as the government of Trinidad and Tobago, providing responsible government, we will say, great is the PNM. Great is the PNM. Great is the PNM, and we in Trinidad and Tobago shall prevail.
Yes, I can hear them saying, boys, stop living in the past. Where can I find that energy, the raw magic that comes down from the grassroots? Yes, I'm from a place where soca, the resounding power. You could feel any time, any hour, sunshine or shower. You will feel it anywhere you look, and it real like a story, man. I come from when Gong used to carry it, where used to carry it, when it Gong used to carry it,
Thank you, Dr. Rowley, for that, as always, enlightening and rousing special message. Let's give another huge round of applause for our political leader, former Prime Minister, and your former MP for Diego Martin West. Tonight, we felt the energy of the People's National Movement, so I'm going to do a roll call one more time. Diego Martin Northeast, are you ready? Diego Martin Central, are you ready? Diego Martin West, are you responsible? We thank you, Diego Martin, for coming out in your numbers tonight. And for those who are online, We thank you for joining us wherever you are. As we come to a close, let's remember that each one of us has a role to play in the next 12 days. Talk to your friends, talk to your neighbors, talk to your family. Remind them of what is at stake on April 28th for our country. Remind them of the hospitals opened, the schools built, the jobs created, the COVID pandemic, the lives improved under the PNM, and so much more. Remind them that we cannot afford to turn back now. The PNM has always put country first, and we will continue to do so. And to close this evening on a high note, we have a special treat for you. Please welcome a stalwart in the music industry and a constant support of the People's National Movement. Put your hands together for Peter C. Lewis.
Hey, 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 hey. PNM people, are you feeling? Oh, na 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 na. Hey, 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 build this on a strong foundation. Calling on the Red Army. This is a new chapter. We're there. Oh, na na na. We're writing this together. Calling on the Red Army. Listen, Trinidad and Tobago. Let's make history. We ready now. Calling the Red Army, calling out all our friends and family with love for TNT. From the mountaintop to the valley low, everywhere we go, country before party. We working, we building, we gonna make things better. Side by side, we standing for our nation's future. This is the movement, we all in together. Not just the one, my sister, my brother. Policy in your hand, PNM is the plan. Red and ready, hold it steady, hey. Listen, one blood flow into we vein. Run again, hey. Every creed and every race. Together, no time to waste. From Frederick Street to Bucko Reef, the balance is what we need. Tell them this, I say it plain. The PNM we need again. Hey, we taking it to the street, wherever we meet. We talking to everyone all over the country. The message is loud and clear. We want you to volunteer, swelling the word. Country before. Listen, sun or rain, we remain. We gonna make things better. Side by side. Hey, all you voted for Simon? All you Simon people? Together we standing, all tribes intertwined, working together. Hey, hey, hey. Together, your future and mine. Red and ready, hold it steady. Hey, cause we one blood flowing through we vein. Red Army on the road again. Every creed and every race. Together now, no time to waste. From Frederick Street to Bucko Reef, the balance is what we need. Tell them this and say it plain. Hold on, low. I want to see these people here. All this is the Simon people. Simon people. Who are you voting for? I hear. Say it again, louder. Where the people who voted for Calm? They say Calm with choice. Calm with choice. Where Calm people and them? Where them is? Where them is? Where the people who voted for Hands? Hey, we all in together. Not just the one. My sister, my brother. Policy in your hand. PNM is the plan. Red and ready, hold it steady. Hey, we are one blood flowing through we vein. Red Army on the road again. Every creed and every race. Together now, no time to waste. From Frederick Street to Bucko Reef, the balance is what we need. Tell them this and say it plain. Simon, no bring her again. Hey, oh na na, oh na na na. DJ, we all ready to go home now. All ready to go home now. All ready to go home now. Well, just because I only I go do one for all again. Let me go. 1999999. Hey, yeah. Digo Martin people. Hey, in birth we choice. Hey, where the people are never voted for Hands? Hands like a squad going home already.
Eh? When you come down in the front, come down in the front. Hey, listen. We come a long way together as a nation. Hey, standing side by side. But still a long way to go, we gonna get there. Standing side. No wave! I see the faces, the races, the spaces, the places where we all come from. Oh, I see the Indians, the Africans, the Chinese, hey, united all as one. We gonna get Simon, they no breaker, we voting.